Hello!
Hey, everybody!
How's it going? Welcome, guys. It is Friday night. It doesn't feel like Friday, but it is Friday.
It is.
It feels like it was just Friday. Anyways, it is Friday
7-ish days ago.
once more. And here on Saving Throw, that means it's time for Wildcards, which is our continued journey through the dark, the twisted, the shady, the yeehawed. The shadowy places in the Weird West. And we will be using the Savage Worlds rules, and we will be playing in the Deadlands Reloaded setting. So thank you guys for being here. My name is Jordan Caves-callarman. I'm marshal around these parts. And if you're hearing constant yeehaws, that's because people are redeeming their in-chat gold for toasts, which we'll get to in a bit. But first, before we do that, let's meet everyone here at the table. So guys, here's what I want tonight. I would like your name, your character name, and I would like to know if your character has any superstitions, and if so, what are they? And we will start with...
I feel like you need a big wheel that you can spin. What? It was me last time.
Sorry.
This guy.
This guy likes you.
Okay. So,
Draw.
Rose was raised with superstitions.
First, who are you and what's your character's name?
Hi, my name is Meghan Caves, and I play Rosaline Saoirse. And back to what I was saying. Yeah, she was raised with superstitions.
Sorry for interrupting you by getting you to say the thing I asked you to say.
I was making a joke. Anyway. Now you've interrupted me again, though.
Yeah, I'm doing that a lot.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, but yes, so she's her mother specifically, but both her parents, her family in general, had a lot of superstitions. Catholic, and they were Catholic. They raised her Catholic, basically, and they had a lot of sort of the old world superstitions as well. But it was kind of removed a little bit in the sense that they still sort of practiced it, but maybe didn't fully believe it in the same way. But you know how those things kind of change? Like they're, at one point in a generation, they're like, they truly believe these superstitions. And then it kind of switches and it's more like a good luck thing, where it's not that they necessarily...
It's like a tradition, kind of, almost.
They don't necessarily believe it, but they also don't not believe it. You know, it's like somewhere in between. And I think that Rose was raised that way, and she kind of took it a step further, where she was like, this stuff is all ridiculous. But as much as she thinks that, there was still sort of, you know, some of that in the back of her head, but she kind of pushed it away. And of course, now dealing with the Weird West, it's a little like, what of those things maybe were actually true? There's
What
a little
could
bit
help
of mind.
me right now?
It's like
Right.
if you're in a household where they put a horseshoe over the door, and it's like, why? And you're like, I guess that's just a thing that
My
you
dad
do,
did
right?
it.
Right. But now it's kind of like, you know, it broke her mind a little bit. And that it was just kind of like, oh, these things that, I don't know. You know, because she kind of second guessed her family, her parents, not just in that way, but in a lot of other ways. And it's like, well, man, they maybe were right about this. What else have I been wrong about?
Is there a specific superstition that Rose has stuck with, or that has stuck with Rose?
No, not necessarily, but I think I would have to look up some of the, like, I would probably go with like Irish and English superstitions, which there's a wealth of that.
So
kind of stuff.
iron to ward off fae and evil spirits.
Things like that, but I think that I don't know that there would be one specifically, because I don't know that she would have really studied them in that way. But I think there would be a general sense of that, of like, yeah, what things can I use potentially against these bad things that, you know, what do I remember?
All right, interesting. And right next to desperately trying to remember some of those superstitions that might come in handy, we have...
Hi, my name is Jordan Pridgeon, and I am playing Gabriel Pryor, who is a con man from the South who uses the guise of a preacher to get stuff done, and then was chosen by the Almighty. So now he can do miracles, and that certainly muddles the pretending to be a preacher thing a little bit.
Blurs some of those lines.
Yeah.
Robin Thicke style.
I kind of hate this answer, because I feel like there are superstitions that Gabe has that he's not aware that he has.
Sure.
But he is against superstition on principle.
Sure.
Like, he scoffs at it, and has always kind of scoffed at superstition and people who are superstitious as like, they're being idiots. They, you know, this stuff is just them being slaves to weird traditions they don't understand, and he always saw that as a way to take advantage of people.
Right.
Because if they believe in these superstitions, you can manipulate them in some way.
Anyways, I'm gonna go do a con. Where's my lucky silver dollar?
Right. Yeah. So even though he probably has some, there are probably things that he's unaware of. Like, if he realized, like, if it was something as obvious as, like, gotta have this silver dollar with me every time, he'd be like, who am I fucking kidding? Like, he would be upset with himself over that. That being said, now that he has had some sort of contact with a higher being, which regularly lets him heal people and make people faster and make weapons better, there's probably some
word good.
make word good on own, but God make bottle hard for whack. Now that that's happened, there are some things that like bubble around his mind, a lot in the same way that Rose said, like, oh well, maybe there's actually like reason behind some of these things.
Sure.
Although I think Gabe has come to the conclusion that part of what is happening with the Reckoning is these people using the superstitions that man has created to manipulate them. Yeah.
That's an interesting thought. And we will jump across the table from getting way too close to the truth of things. And let's see what this young gentleman has to say.
Hello, I am Young Gentleman. My name's Gaurav, and I play Howell Melton, the consummate Frontier Shellmans. I wasn't here last week, so there's only 3 of these.
Oh my god. Keeping up with that's gonna be hard.
Yep. And, you know, I don't think Howell is superstitious. He was a doubting Thomas before, and he just wasn't, like, he's never been that kind of person. I think he's always, like, when he was a kid, he was probably told, like, some sort of stories to, like, scare him to keep him off the fields. Like, don't play in the fields or the scarecrow's going to get you. So he's maybe, like, afraid of scarecrows or something. But that's not, like, a superstition. He doesn't really, like...
That's just child abuse.
He's not... Yeah, exactly. He's not still afraid of scarecrows or anything. So, like, you know, it was fine.
Scarecrows are made for people to not get into the...
Scarecrows with the popcorn lady.
Why do you do this? Why do you do this?
Just gonna star that a few times.
I mean,
You were in the
should
last
know by
episode.
now.
Oh,
You
you're
said
right.
you weren't here, but you were in it.
I was. You're right.
And then last but not least, right next to nothing bad will ever happen involving a scarecrow, we have...
Hi, my name's Dom Zook. I play James Bogue, and thank you very much for the donations and such.
Yes, we'll get to those.
attribute
We're
we'll
going to
get
go
to
through all of them
in a
just
minute. Yeah, but you know, I want to say that Bogue is Mr. Tough Guy and doesn't have any superstitions, but I think in general he kind of aligned like big superstition type things. I think he's not into that, like black cats and stuff like that. I don't think he really cares about. But I think when it comes to like his gun and stuff like that, he can get a little bit preoccupied with, you know.
Everything's got to be just so.
Yeah. But beyond that, I don't think he really has any, you know, I don't think he subscribes to any superstitious...
Well, because here's the thing, and I'd like to point out this brief discrepancy and then give you guys a quick chance to rethink your answers, because there's a difference between being superstitious and having superstitions. Being superstitious is like, I'm not going to let a black cat cross my path, I'm not going to go under ladders because if I do, bad things will happen. And then having superstitions are like, I feel better when I've got this hat on. Like this hat, this is my good hat. Like this good things happen to me when I wear this hat, which is kind of like, or you know, as gamers, many people have dice superstitions. That doesn't necessarily mean that you yourself are a superstitious person. It just means you have a superstition.
It could be something as simple as like, I always like to have one bullet I never use. This one I keep in the pocket, you know?
Just in case I need that one bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bogue doesn't do that.
Sure. I can still see you, as you said, like having some like things that you don't see as superstitions, but kind of are about your gun, like about like how you treat it. And like,
he probably loads it a certain way.
I feel like you load it a certain way, and my guess would be James doesn't like to let people borrow or use his gun.
Well, one, he can't.
Not that gun. Your other
use your
gun.
rifle all the time.
Rifle, yes.
Yeah.
But that
not-
doesn't belong to him.
Not my
Oh,
sidearm.
does it?
I don't believe so. Aren't you still using Johnny Carrington's rifle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he
Ooh,
took
fun
that
fact.
he took that from
attention.
Johnny Carrington way back when. All right, well, thank you guys. Those are some illuminating answers. And I really quickly, before they get wiped, I would like to say a very big thank you to Howell's Manitou for the tip.
What?
Howell's Manitou?
For Double Up Omega for the tip. To Gunslinger Randy for the tip, or Gunslinge Randy, as we affectionately call him. Mace134, thank you very much for the tip. Class Dunce, thank you for the resub. Congrats on your 4 months. Monstrosity Jones, thank you very much for the sub.
Yeah,
Zarfin,
welcome.
Thank you very much for the tip. And SF Giant 49er, thank you guys for the tip.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, folks.
And on the notes of tips, we here at Saving Throw are an independent channel. We run things on our own. We are all by ourselves. We don't have anybody backing us or providing us any sort of foundational support or structure. No, it's just us howling desperately into the abyss. And we are able to do so thanks largely in part to the generosity of our viewers. So if you are enjoying what you're seeing, if you're having a good time, if you want to support us and you want us to continue to develop new shows, make our existing shows better, and get more cool backdrops and stuff like that, please consider tipping during the show. It means a lot to us. It keeps the channel going. It keeps us all plugging along week after week, hopefully entertaining you guys.
I'm going to pull away the veil real quick.
Uh-oh.
We're not actually in the desert. I know that's crazy.
Come on,
Well,
man.
but
Come on, man.
Technically, we are.
That's true. We
Okay,
kind
sort
of
of.
are.
We're in a desert-ish area. But
LA
anyway,
was built badly.
Yeah.
we very much appreciate it. It means a lot to us, and it does keep us keeping on. Even if you can't tip, though, during the show, we very much appreciate you being here, spreading the word about our channel and our shows. If you're spreading the word about Wildcards in particular, ooh, it's going to be a good night. Feel free to use the hashtag WildcardsRPG. And yeah, also, if you have Amazon Prime, that means you also have Twitch Prime, and you can use one free sub every month to the channel of your choice. And if you'd like, you can sub to our channel. Anybody who subs, resubs, or gifts a sub during the show tonight can choose to give one of these fine folks at the table, not me, but you can give it to the table, a piece of cursed Spanish gold, which functions as a reroll with a twist during this show. Or you can choose to give it up to one of our other ones. You're hilarious. Thank you very much for the sub. And hey, how's it going, Jesse?
Hey, I was like, wait, that's
Hey.
Jesse.
You're hilarious.
Nice.
Okay.
My hilarious?
Good.
That killed it. I just wanted to see
killed
how
it.
long it would take anyone to say anything. Anyways, but like I said, we very much appreciate you guys being here at all and just hanging out and having a good time with us. Thanks for coming along on this journey with us. Also, I think they might all be. Do we have any gold toasts left?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's all. All right, all the gold toasts are used up, but for next time, if you'd like, you earn free currency just by hanging out in the Twitch chat, which is called gold. And for 500 gold, you can redeem for a toast. We will raise a glass and toast to whatever it is you want, as long as you're cool and not a jerk about it. Those have all been used up this time, but get here early next week to redeem some of those gold toasts. Or for $15 or more, you can also redeem a toast. And any tips that are made during the show tonight, cash tips or bit tips over 100 bits or more, go towards unlocking fun tiers and rewards that have sometimes small, sometimes major effects on the game or the campaign as a whole. In order to see what those are for tonight, you can enter !unlocks in the chat, and !tips will get you to our tip link. So I think that's all of that stuff. Does anyone have anything else they want to say before we get started?
No.
All right, then what say we saddle up?
Oh, okay.
And before we start talking about what it was that happened last time, why don't we draw some fate chips?
Oh, yeah.
So who's gonna go first tonight? Let's see
Draw.
how much this. No,
Megan, you're overdoing it.
I didn't start.
the D4 of Destiny has selected James Bogue. James Bogue, draw 3 fate chips as an average lucky human being. In order to see what the different colored fate chips do, just pay attention to the scrolling box beneath me. Very shortly, one will pop up that explains them.
Or you can just swipe on the screen.
Blue and 2 reds.
It's a touchscreen.
A blue and 2 reds. Pretty good draw.
Well, that is a good
Hal
draw.
Melton, 3 fate chips for you as well.
One,
Maybe I'll get
two,
all white again.
a 3. I got white, white, red.
White, white, and red.
Just one day, I want someone to draw all blues.
Rosaline Byrne,
That today.
Here it is.
do it. 3 fate chips for
Do it,
Rosaline.
Rose. Do it.
Well, hang on. I don't know.
2 whites and a white.
White's how she rolls.
That's all I've gotten lately.
And Gabriel
What the hell?
Pryor,
True, that's
5
very
fate
weird.
chips for you.
Huh.
As a
just
person
four.
with great
Mixed
luck.
in there.
I got 3 whites and 2 reds.
the T-Boys. Thank you very much for the resub.
Hey, the T-Boys.
My man.
And I get a fate chip for each of you. I got 3 whites and a blue. I will lay them out there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I will remind you guys that you all have, thanks to the mysterious strangers in chat, 1 token of plot armor on the table, which can be used to instantly reduce the severity of any wound, or be used as a blue fate chip, thanks to them from last
I
season.
do have a blue fate chip then.
That's right. Everyone does. At least 1. Kind of for the whole table. And then everyone has cursed Spanish gold. Sound off with your cursed Spanish gold count.
None.
None for Gabriel Pryor.
3.
3 for Rosaline Byrne.
16.
16 for Hal Melton.
10.
10 for James
Holy
Bogue.
We can see which side of the table you like more.
Yeah, they're not cannibals.
Yeah, the ones who don't eat people.
But you know who they like the most.
Anybody.
Well, we like you the most. We're giving you those.
I'm freaking Smaug over here with mine.
Smaug.
So let's talk about what happened last time. Last time on Wildcards,
Yeah, what did I miss?
the posse was investigating the strange murders that were happening in the town of Despair. But right off the bat, they realized they had lost track of Howell Melton. He had mysteriously vanished, and when they tried to track him down, they found nothing, just some confusing tracks and 1 solitary piece of popcorn. Old, crushed, and slightly rotted, tucked away in the back of an alleyway.
Gross.
Unable to spare the time to search any further for Howell, they continued to track down the Laughing Men gang. Found out that Amos Chandler, the barkeep who had helpfully led them to Mosquito Canyon and an ambush from Catamounts, was actually in league with the Laughing Men, and realized that their real hideout was somewhere near the Diamond Spring outside of town. After investigating that spring and having an unfortunate run-in with some sentient tumbleweeds, they discovered the underground cavern that the Laughing Men were using as a hideout, and also discovered that their gang leader and a couple of her trusted men had stolen some Smith & Robards tech that they were more than willing to use against the posse. However, the posse proved more than a match for them and were able to incapacitate the gang and capture one of the members of the gang and take out their leader, gaining a few pills of Colonel Calumny's and Bigoning variety
Who
along
has
the
that,
way.
by the way?
I don't know who has that. We'll get to that in a moment. And then returned to town to let everyone know that the Laughing Men gang had been taken care of. I will say we left it ambiguous last time, but they turned in the 1 member of the gang to Big Lou without saying much more about the murders in town, which was good, because later that evening, they were awakened once more in the night by a barking dog, and once more they followed the mysterious sound into the darkened streets of Despair, and once more they gazed down a darkened alleyway, and this time they saw a large solitary figure in the final process of strangling a poor unfortunate soul to death. And as that figure stood up and turned around, they saw the twisted, furious, blood-spattered face of Howell Melton. And that's where we left off last time. Thank you very much, Vampire54, for the tip.
Yes.
Am I wrong in saying that's got to set it to like 99 cents, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
You're right.
We
You're
will
absolutely
find
right.
out.
Yep.
Huh.
We have your toasts and whatnot coming in soon. So hang tight with those. They are being typed up as we speak.
Quick mechanical note that I'm sure no one is actually paying close enough attention to be sure about.
Oh, don't be so sure.
But we're still gonna say it. Off camera, like what happened, bringing it back. We also did 1 last bit of healing, which used up my last bit of cursed Spanish gold, and managed to remove my wounds and get Bogue down to 1 wound.
Yeah.
So Bogue is still at 1 wound, and I am healed for this time. We did actually do that.
I see what happened. My screen was not refreshing. We have several toasts to get to. So let's get to them. Everyone raise your bottles.
Boy.
Our first toast is from Howell's Manitou. Howell, sweet Howell, you ask where your mind has gone. It's here, with me, forever. Howell, sweet Howell, you ask where your mind has gone. It's here, with me, forever. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Howell's Manitou. Looking forward to getting to know you better. Gunslinch Randy, a toast. Here's to Howell Melton. Glad to see he's back. Oh, I see he brought a friend. A toast. Here's to Howell Melton. Glad to see he's back. Oh, I see he brought a friend. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Gunslinger Randy. Siamath Pirnkoth, who would like us to toast.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Ere iron was found or tree was hewn, when young was mountain under moon, ere ring was made or wrought was woe, it walked the forest long ago. Everyone got it verbatim?
Yeah, easy.
Ere iron was found or tree was hewn, when young was mountain under moon, ere ring was made or wrought was woe. It walked the forest long ago. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Simon Perrinkoth. We're always so good when it comes to your toast.
It's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that sounds a little ringsy.
Bastion Fields would like us to toast. Two Howells walk into a bar. That's it. Two Howells walk into a bar. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Bastion. Toa 47. Man, you guys are getting so poetic. Toa 47 would like us to toast. The cards flip. The carnival sings. Popcorn in the air. Time for the main event to show in the middle of moon and shadows.
Ooh.
The cards flip.
The carnival sings. Popcorn in the air. Time for the main event to show in the middle of the moon and shadows. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Toa 47. Peter Buxton would like us to toast. Man, if only Howell was here to help. Oh, wait. Man, if only Howell was here to help. Oh, wait. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Peter Buxton. Mace 134 would like us to toast. Hootin', hollerin', howl. We are in for a treat. Hootin', hollerin', howl. We are in for a treat. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, M. Mace.
I don't know what you guys are expecting, but...
The T-Boys would like us to toast. First, the lights will flicker on and off. Then the telegraph will ring, but there will be nobody there. And finally, the hash-slinging Howl arrives on the Gussie that ran him over.
Hash-slinging?
First, the lights will flicker on and off. Then the telegraph will ring, but there's nobody there. And finally, the hash-slinging Howl arrives on the Gussie that ran him over. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, the T-Boys.
Thanks, T-Boys.
Gussie was
Funny aside, my younger sister loves to tell that story as a ghost story, and it's delightful.
That's a real story?
And I'll have to show you guys that video
It's a
afterwards.
different story, but
Well, yeah, obviously.
Zarfin would like us to toast to binging all of Wildcards in a month and to being all caught up.
What?
P.S. Canary and Gussie forever.
Aw.
To binging all of Wildcards in a month and to being all caught up. P.S. Canary and Gussie forever. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Zarfin, and kudos to you.
Yeah,
I
geez.
miss Canary.
Well done.
Yeah.
Canary died.
Who do you miss more, though?
What about your horse?
Definitely Canary.
You never
Oh, I
give a shit
didn't name
about
my horse.
Yeah, for just such an occasion. And last but not least, Vampire 54 would like us to toast. I don't think Howell is well. He looks a little harrowed tonight. I don't think Howell is well. He looks a little harrowed tonight. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Vampire 54.
I'm still me, guys.
All right,
I'm still me.
that's it for the time being, guys.
Tell that to Life Drinker.
And yet, BSB Care would like to give their piece of cursed Spanish gold for resubbing to a Howell Melton.
All right.
Fancy.
Class
Thank
Duns
you.
would like to give their piece of cursed Spanish gold to Howell
Hey,
Melton.
that's me too. It's my kind of
Monstrosity
night, guys.
Jones would like to give their
This is
piece
gonna
of
be
cursed
different.
Spanish gold to Howell Melton.
Oh no, I don't like so much attention. I don't like it.
You're Hilarious would like to give their
This-
piece of cursed Spanish gold to
What?
Rosaline
Okay,
Byrne.
think of
Thank you, Jesse.
But the T-Boys would like to give their piece of cursed Spanish gold to Howell Melton.
Oh, thanks, T-Boys. But what is this? It's so tiny. It's a basketball
It's a
court.
tiny, yeah, it's a tiny one. Also,
20.
we have unlocked several
Hey,
tiers.
guys, hold.
One moment. We
Oh,
have
boy.
unlocked the first story tier, which is called Clicking into Place. So thank you very much, mysterious strangers in chat, for unlocking that one. We've also unlocked a draw.
Oh!
It's never gonna work that
I
way.
said it like 5
It's
times.
never, ever,
I didn't say it.
ever gonna work that way.
Because I have a slow reaction time. I'm bad at games like Egyptian
You know what?
Screw.
Let's keep everything going. Hal Melton. Draw.
Well,
Welcome back, I guess.
yeah, thanks. Okay.
We missed you?
Oh, I like this one. Feel it. It's like the gun took over and aimed itself. Make a called shot with a ranged weapon with no penalties.
Ooh, nice.
Pretty good.
Pretty good one.
Fancy.
We have also unlocked a fistful of cursed Spanish gold for the table.
Thank you.
That's 3 pieces of cursed Spanish gold for anyone to use, except for me, obviously. That will go away at the end of this session, so use it or lose it. We've also unlocked the next reward tier, which is called Venomous Sting.
Well, we killed that
no.
person. We
Yeah,
killed
we
Snake
did.
person.
we all have
Venomous.
to go see Venom.
A Venomous Sting, yes.
Oh, no.
That's it. We all have to go see Venom,
But
and
it
we
doesn't
have
have
to pay
Spider-Man.
for it in the highest format
What?
we can.
No.
see
IMAX
it in.
4D.
No!
Guys, I'm sure it might be fine. All right, and we've also unlocked another draw.
Draw!
Stop it.
I didn't say it. I still have a really bad reaction time.
James Bogue. Draw.
Not
that one.
Yo.
Share.
God damn it.
PowerPoint plus.
Arcane Spike.
Yes!
A character with an arcane background may activate a damage-causing power they could normally use. This activation costs no power points and deals double damage. The character must make a vigor roll at -2 or suffer a level of fatigue.
This is
says
still
a
good because it says a
character.
character.
Yeah, so
So you can use it on Rose.
Excellent.
I'll also say, for the purposes of you drawing that James Bogue, that you can use that card to activate Life Drinker.
Ooh.
But it will not do double damage. It'll just activate for free.
It won't take a...
A wound
It
or
won't take a
fatigue.
wound.
Okay.
It'll just be a spike on Life Drink. If
Wow.
you choose to, you
Okay.
can do that with that card. I'm going to allow that.
Yeah, this guy's covered in diamonds. And it's Rose's boyfriend.
No, it's with the green card.
Diamond Gem.
What?
what?
All right.
Your boyfriend.
Why?
What a weird thing to say, Don.
That is a really weird thing to say. Anyways,
He was saying.
let's jump into the game, shall we?
Okay.
So let's find ourselves in the darkened streets of the town of despair.
I saw him first, right? Or I was out there first?
You did see him first, but everyone saw him all. They all joined you.
Okay.
In the darkened streets of despair, the dog has gone away, and Howell, turning to face all of you and snarling, blood on his face. Just as you have a moment to recognize Hal Melton's face in the moonlight, his eyes roll up in the back of his head, and he collapses to the ground.
Howl!
I guess we'll run over to him.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we probably all rush towards him.
I'll go.
To him and the body.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
body?
do draw my gun in the process.
Okay. Hal has collapsed to the ground. He is covered in dirt and grime, and his face and shirt are spattered with blood.
Is the other person alive?
The body is not alive.
Oh, Jesus.
The body has been beaten soundly about the face, and her throat has been collapsed.
Do we know who it is?
You do.
Who is it?
You recognize the badly disfigured face of the general store owner.
What? What the hell? Is that, how much would any of us know from this? Like, would this...
From this, you would know you just saw Howell murder the general store owner.
Right, but like, looking at him, there's nothing else we would gather. I'm just checking.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So we saw his eyes roll up in his head, though.
You did, and you saw him stumble and collapse.
Howell,
What the hell is going on?
I'm gonna, like, shake him and see if I can wake him up.
So you go to shake him, and as you move to touch him, the darkness in the alleyway seems to lift just a bit, and there's a slight breeze. And as that breeze blows through the alleyway, you hear what sounds like the faint and almost imperceptible distant laughter of children. And as that darkness sort of blows away, It's as though the moon kind of comes out from behind a cloud, even though there's not a cloud in the sky, and illuminates Howell, and he looks a bit different. He seems, perhaps it's just the moonlight, a bit sallow-skinned, and you notice an odor coming from him that smells foul. And with his eyes closed, lying collapsed in the alleyway like this, right next to the savaged corpse of the general store owner, he looks, for all intents and purposes, like just another corpse.
If we can't wake him up, I think we need to take him inside.
What do you mean, wake him up? I think he's dead.
Oh,
Do you want to look closer?
Yeah.
I will try and feel his breath or something like that, or feel. I don't know if I would know to look for a pulse necessarily, but
I feel like you. I mean, you spent some time on the battlefields, James. I feel like you would know to look for a pulse and feel for breath, or at least a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
None of which are detectable.
He's dead.
What?
Oh my God.
What? But he was just... How? He was just fine, I thought.
All right. We have got to get him out of the road. We probably got to get her out of the road too. When people wake up and find this,
You're in an alleyway around the corner of the general store.
we have got to get him away. When they wake up and see this, I don't care if he's dead. They're gonna think that we were with him. They know we were here with him.
Why were they gonna... We've been searching for him all day. Why would they think that?
I don't know. It seems like I don't know how this can be explained, but he's been killing these people.
How do we... We don't know if maybe she attacked him. We don't know that.
Oh, come on. We saw it with our own eyes.
We saw him strangling her, but we've
She's
seen
a little old lady.
I know, but we've seen him fight people multiple times before.
A woman?
No, he doesn't usually, but we don't have all the information.
Rose, can you see that woman coming at him with anything? And Howell turning and attacking him?
I'm just saying, why would we assume that? Let's just take him inside and go from there. We don't know what's happened here. We don't know what's going on. We have more questions now than answers.
I think we need to take both of them in. If we leave her out here for her body to be found, then we're gonna run into more questions from more people, and things are just gonna get hairier for us. We're never gonna get out of here.
I think we need to hide the bodies, and we need to get out of town. Look, I know this is Howell, and it is hard to deal with the fact that something seems to have taken him from us that we cannot explain. But we cannot get caught up here.
Okay, but we've been doing this whole thing to try and save Jacob, and that's not going to save him.
Then we tell Big Lou that woman did it, because they cannot find out that Howell did it.
But if it happens again, then Jacob
Howell did it!
Why do you think that, though? Hold on.
We saw him strangling a woman, Rose!
Let's take a moment, though. How much would we...
Oh, are we
Yes.
Are we out of
How much
character?
would we really be able to... Because, yes, we saw him doing that, but why would we automatically assume that he's the one who's been killing everybody?
There's
Is
a
that
lot.
something that
There's
we
a
should
lot
automatically
happening
assume?
right now. I'm going to guess that everyone has a lot of things racing through their head right now.
I'm just trying to get a clear image of it, because
To me, it seems very pattern recognition-y that when someone who we were told was a big person was strangling someone, and then we come upon Howell. They described it as about Howell's size, and then we come upon Howell, who is strangling someone in the same way.
I would imagine all of you are arriving at your own conclusions separately right now, but there is a lot happening, and you do feel somewhat exposed, even in this alleyway right now.
Right, I'm just trying to figure out a proper response, because I feel like knowing how, without having any more information, being a part of his party, we would assume that there was something else going on.
I think it is entirely possible that Rosaline would think that. And
Okay.
I also think it's entirely possible that Gabriel would think what he's thinking.
That's fine. I just want to make sure that I have the proper information.
Yes.
I think we can go with that, but I
I
regardless, I think we need to get both of these
We
bodies
still
off.
saw him strangling someone. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you, but we can't talk about it here.
I agree.
You're suddenly aware of how loud your conversation sounds in this darkened street.
All right. Look,
Thank
let's
you,
get him
Bart.
into the house.
23, almost 2 years.
Wow.
2 years, baby. Get ready for that new badge.
All right. We need to get him into the house. I think we need to get her into the house. We need to get them out of the open. Okay? We need to do it quietly, we need to do it quickly, and then we can figure out what the hell is going on.
Let's take him inside.
You two handle Howell. All right? If anyone, you can take him along the streets if you have to. If anyone asks, he passed out drunk.
Hello?
That's why we haven't seen him.
Is something going on down there? You see a lantern light drawing near from the main street, coming up to the alleyway. Is everyone all right? I heard a ruckus.
Is there a way out back?
There is, but it's kind of this. Again, this town isn't super large, so you can go behind the buildings or down the main street.
Can I do like try a cool thing maybe here?
Can you be more specific?
How close is this person
Roll.
to us?
So you guys are in the alleyway,
Uh-huh.
and you just hear a voice and see lantern light approaching from the main street, from the direction you came.
Right, but are we like near that side of the alley, or are we near the back of the alley?
You're kind of in the middle of the alley.
Okay. What I would like to do
Okay.
is utilize my new power, but like this is the first time it manifests.
Real quick, because that's an important point, because I don't believe we touched on that at
No,
all.
we didn't.
After last episode, the posse advanced to the legendary rank. The posse have now reached the legendary rank for their characters, which opened them up to some legendary edges. And real quick, because I forgot to go over this at the beginning of the show, they all took a legendary edge, or an advance of some kind. Gabriel Pryor advanced his vigor, so that he has a little bit more staying power in combat. Rosaline Byrne, finally, some things sort of locked in place, and she gained a new ability, a very powerful one that I think she's about to try and play with right now, so we'll get to that. James Bogue took faster than lightning.
Fast as lightning.
Fast as lightning. I guess you can't be faster than lightning unless you're Flipper the Dolphin.
No.
Or Barry Allen.
Or Barry Allen.
Or Wally West.
But it's
I
in the
mean.
song.
Which after his quick edge processes, will turn any card that he keeps into at least a 10. So James Bogue will never be dealt less than a 10 in combat. And Howell Melton took Right Hand of the Devil, which turns his claw into a relic of sorts.
Yeah.
This is some pretty cool stuff. Anyways, they're legends now. What's your cool idea?
Okay, basically what I want. So I assume since this guy is a lantern, there's a lot of shadow. I want to basically cast this. What I want is just the first manifestation of this spell.
Mhm.
So it's sort of like a panic response.
Like a wish that you could just, if there was some way
Yeah.
you could be in two places at once.
Yeah. And I want to pop out like on the other, like kind of behind the guy,
Okay.
and basically try and be like and distract him.
Okay. All right. So
Rose's mutant power manifests at this point.
do you have the points to cast two of a kind?
I don't know where. So where we ended is how many points I have.
Mhm.
I don't have them.
So you would have to deal.
Oh, yeah, I would.
And I believe, if I am correct, in order to cast two of a kind, you
would
would
have to
need
get
to
a
get a
flush.
flush or better.
That's a badly named spell then.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I won't do that.
You won't do it?
I can't risk that.
All right.
That's insane.
We'll have to wait. Yes, that is pretty nuts.
She just passes out and there's 3 corpses in the alley.
We'll have to wait to see. But in the meantime, this voice is approaching.
Is there like a barrel or box or anything like
Make
that?
a notice roll for me. A desperate notice roll. It's dark. You're looking quickly at a -2.
Uh-oh.
Yep, that doesn't work.
I will. I could try to puppet.
Spending a piece of cursed Spanish gold to re-roll James Bogue.
Answer to
Oh,
everything.
ace on the d6.
Helpful.
So
Is it
7, 9 minus 2, 7.
7. All right, so casting about desperately, you do not see any barrels or crates or anything nearby, but you do notice what looks like a missing board at the base of the general store and just darkness underneath it. If you act quickly, you could just hurl the bodies underneath the general store.
All right, so I'm gonna say, all right, hide her. We'll handle Howell, and then I want to try and pick up Howell, and like do the we can like just have him. I want to position him real quick so it looks like he's just like on his knees.
You
and
have
just be like,
seconds.
yeah. I'll just pick him up and be like, all right, buddy, okay.
Okay.
So while
All
he's
right.
in the process of doing that, though, I also want to try puppet. I want to, like, we're trying to throw out as many things as possible. So.
Okay, you're all panicking, basically.
Yeah.
So James is looking to throw the body of this woman underneath a building. You're going to try and weekend at Bernie's Howell's body, and you're going to try and puppet the man coming with the
I have
lantern?
to deal for that.
All right.
I'm more directly trying to Sin City the body, where the cop shows up and is like, "Your friend there seems real drunk," and he's like, "Yeah, he had too much."
Okay.
But he's just dead.
Not Weekend at Bernie's, Sin City. It's not a comedy. All right, so here's what I need from everybody. James, I need an agility roll from you. 5. Mm-hmm. That's a success.
Okay.
The Bard, 1971. Thank you very much
Thanks,
for
the Bard.
it. And before I ask for these from everyone, I suppose I should give Gabriel Pryor his piece of cursed Spanish gold from the Bard.
Yay! Thank you, the
Nice.
Bard.
Lady Imago, thank you very much for the
Yes,
base.
Lady Margo.
You didn't make me flip the coin today.
Oh. I was supposed to. I just forgot to write it down. Heads or tails, Gabriel Pryor?
Tails.
And I dropped my pencil
I'll
as
help you
part
with
of my plan.
No, I got it.
Got it. Okay,
Cool.
Gabriel, I need a strength roll from you.
Oh,
Because
strength,
Howell,
okay.
Howell is a big, heavy, dead weight.
Yep.
Oh yeah, dead weight. Yeah.
Oh
that's the worst.
boy. I got a 4.
4. Okay, that's a success. And Rose, I need you to spend your points and make your roll. Do you have enough points to cast Puppet? How many points do you need then?
3.
3. So you need jacks or better. So retreat to that place in your head and deal
2.
with the devil.
Ace.
2 of diamonds, ace of clubs,
7.
7 of diamonds,
There's a 2.
2 of spades,
3.
3 of spades. Jacks or better is what you need.
5.
5 of diamonds.
Uh-oh.
5.
5.
That's two pair.
Two pair. We good.
5.
Oh.
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 That's
That's 9, right?
10 cards.
Okay,
9
so
cards.
Oh, it's not. Yeah.
I
right.
believe that's a full house, 5s over 2s, correct?
Yeah.
Which would have been enough to cast your new spell. But instead, what happens is the spell goes off with a raise, and the duration of it is doubled.
Damn it! I could have done it! God damn it!
Yeah, but it's probably good you didn't risk
Yeah,
it.
I know.
So you feel the Manitou's disapproval as this power surges through you. The spell goes off automatically with a raise. Do you get anything for a raise with Puppet?
Well, they've got a spirit. Puppet is supposed to roll.
Tyler Rose!
Thank you,
very
Tyler.
much.
Hey.
Tyler Rose.
Roads.
My man.
Sweet treat.
Sweet treat.
Sweet treat.
Thank you.
Inside
No?
joke.
No raise?
Doesn't seem to do anything.
Okay, so they have to make a spirit roll to oppose? I'm gonna give them a -2 to their spirit roll because you got a raise. That seems fair.
Okay.
All right, so spirit to oppose your success with a raise, so we'll say you got an 8.
Well, I haven't. Oh.
You don't have to roll because it just goes
Oh,
off.
right,
So
right.
minimum would be an 8. That's an ace.
Oh
On
wow.
D6.
The fuck on!
That's another
eight.
ace. -2. Don't forget
13
that.
minus 2 is an 11.
Wow.
But that is a resistance to your puppet.
Wow.
So here is what happens. Hello, is someone there? I heard a ruckus. James Bogue dives for the body of this woman, casting about desperately, and sees this opening beneath there, grabs her and slings her underneath there. No time for grace or any kind of care. This is pure survival mode, and that's where James Bogue excels. Her body just tumbles into the darkness beneath the general store. Meanwhile, Gabe desperately tries to lift up Howell's suddenly completely heavy corpse, and manages to get it up to its knees, but not all the way up. So Howell is kind of like sideways with an arm up, head lolling forward, as Gabe is desperately trying to pull him up and going, oh, there. And Rose, all of a sudden, eyes blazing with power, a card appears in her hand, a spectral ace of spades, which floats off into the night. And just as the old-timer turns into the alleyway, lifting his lantern high to make sure everyone is okay, the card sinks into his head, and he seems surprised and staggers back and slings his lantern around. What happens on a failure?
Puppet is opposed. The user must score success and beat the target's roll to gain complete control of the victim. The victim will attack friends.
Okay, all right.
It's just, I guess. It just
Goes
doesn't
stumbling backwards. What? What? Hello? What's going on?
Oh, we...
Sorry, our friend here has had a few too many to drink and was stumbling around the alley.
I heard shouting and commotion. I'm sorry. I need to sit down for a moment. And he just kind of staggers over to a wall. This is an older man in long johns and overalls with a lantern who just kind of leans up against the wall. He's breathing heavily and he appears to be sweating. He does not look like he's in good shape.
Are you okay?
I feel a bit poorly all of a sudden.
Now, sir, why don't you get yourself to bed?
It's your friend there. He does not look too good.
No, I'm sorry. He was yelling, screaming, crazy things about things he had seen out in the desert. I think he has had a good deal too much whiskey, and he just passed out. I'm trying to get him home.
And everyone's okay.
They're all right.
We are.
All right, you can't be too careful late. All
No,
kinds of
with-
strange things happening.
With the vandalisms and such, I understand, and I appreciate your contribution to the community.
Good. Normal folk shouldn't be out on the streets at this hour. You see, you get your friend home safe, and you get yourselves inside. There's some dangerous folks out.
Surely I will.
First, you too.
He keeps shaking his head like he can't quite clear his vision.
You seem troubled. Why don't you go home and get some sleep? This is no time for someone to be out on the streets if they don't have to.
He just kind of stops for a moment, and his eyes sort of go blurry as he just looks at each of you and tries to take everything in. My dream?
I think you just need to go back inside and go back to sleep.
Get yourself some sleep.
Yeah. All right. Well, you folks, you get your friend home safe, and you be careful out there. There's all kinds of things about.
Indeed.
And he just kind of turns and walks back down the street, and you see his light recede into the night.
Let's get inside.
All right. James, get her body. We can carry Howell.
I think her body's probably fine where it is.
We need to get it. It is going to be found tomorrow morning if we don't move it.
It's going to be more difficult for three of us to try and take two bodies, especially with Howell being as big as he is.
And the body has been hurled underneath this dark space beneath the general store. It might be any amount of time before it's discovered.
Let's deal with Howell first. We can always come back.
I agree.
All right. But it's going to start smelling.
In a while.
Let's take Howell.
He
inside.
smells worse. Let's take care of him.
He does indeed.
He does at that. As you guys get over closer, and Gabe, you've been noticing this for a while, although you've been distracted, there is a distinct rotten odor coming from Howell. It's enough to just slightly turn the stomach.
Guts roll?
Nope, no guts roll. It ain't that bad.
Yeah, we
You don't smell that bad.
We take him inside.
All right, so you're dragging him down the main street to the house that you guys are staying in.
Where was this in relation to our house?
Caddy corner. It's down the main street past the general
I've
store.
been thinking it was beside the house. Okay.
No.
Yes, then I guess that's what we're doing.
All right, I'm gonna need a stealth roll from you guys, and I will let. Let's see. You're all working together, so I'll let the one of you that has the best stealth
I have a D6.
make a roll.
I have D4.
Rosalie?
I was just going to say, new rules?
Not yet. Ace on the
Yeah.
D6.
8.
8. All right, that's a success with a raise, because 4 is a success. Every 4 above that's a raise. So you guys working together very quietly and quickly. The 3 of you, because he's a heavy man, lift Howell up and carry him very quickly and quietly down the street and through the door of the guest house you're all staying in. Where are you putting him?
Put him in my room. Or he had his own room, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's bring him to his room.
How,
All right.
how, what? I don't understand what's going on. What happened to him?
I mean, he was standing there just a moment ago.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that happened that we can't explain, but we saw him kill that woman.
So you're putting him on his bed?
I'd maybe put him on the
Yeah.
floor.
Put him on the floor in his room?
Yeah.
Probably.
And then are you guys just gonna stay here and talk over Howell's corpse?
I think
Probably.
that's kind of the plan, yeah.
Okay.
Look, I think we need to get as far out of town as we can.
But we went to all this trouble for Jacob, and we're just going to condemn them by doing that. Why did we do all of this in the first place? Why didn't we just leave the first we heard where Nightlinger was?
Look, I said we should just say that woman killed him. Let's go, say that that's what we think, and let's get out of town right now.
But that doesn't save Jacob. Again, the point was to
Yes,
save
it does. They'll think that person did it.
It saves Jacob now because we know the killer.
Exactly.
We didn't know that before.
Then we know. Let's tell them and let's leave. Because if they find out Hal did it,
But how can we
They will
be
come after
sure
us.
of that?
Rose, I know you like Howell, but we saw
It has
him doing
nothing
it.
to do with that. I'm saying we're jumping to a lot of assumptions here.
There's no assumptions. We saw him strangling her.
We didn't see him strangle anybody else. I don't know why we're assuming that. I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Howell, you hear distant voices, and you feel yourself kind of coming back to consciousness as though from a heavy sleep.
I'm
Are you
just...
saying there are two large men of Howell's stature
Gabriel
strangling
Pryor,
people?
stop yelling at me.
Why are we yelling?
What?
What in
What the
God's
hell?
name?
Guts roll! That's gonna be a guts roll at a -3.
All right. Oh, but our grit is 5 now, right?
That's right, your grit went up because you're legendary.
12.
I'm sorry, what is the
12.
negative?
-3.
What's the negative?
Yeah.
+2.
Oh,
Oh, right, yeah. Right.
The negative is effectively a +2.
So I got a 6.
12.
12. All right, 2 12s and a 6. This happens a lot to you guys. Hal Melton sits up, clutching his head and rubbing his eyes as though waking up and wanting to know what the hell is going on.
Howell,
Why was your
Howell?
gun out? What?
Where have you been?
Jesus Christ, Howell.
All right. What is going on?
Hal, it's nighttime. Everyone's in your room. You're on the floor. The last thing you remember is being on the streets and bringing Lane back after coming back from the canyon. Then it's all black. It's the middle of the night, like you've woken up on the floor of your room with everyone here.
Where have you been?
What? I mean, we went back to town and someone hit me in the head. I
But
don't know,
he was
what-
dead.
Who's what?
You looked quite dead, unless you have some sort of
No.
magic ability.
He didn't look dead. I carried his body. He was dead weight. There was...
You were cold to the touch. You had no breath, no pulse.
Well, I mean, I sleep pretty hard, but I mean, look at me.
Breathe on my hand right now.
What?
Breathe on my hand. Anything?
Yeah.
A
I
breath.
check his pulse.
Check his pulse?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Are you going to let him check your pulse, Hal?
No.
They're asking you to breathe on their hand. They're touching you.
Stop! What's happening? Stop touching me!
Howell,
What?
we just found you out in the street. You just strangled a woman, and then you dropped to the floor dead.
I didn't strangle. No. What are you talking about?
The woman from the general store. You strangled her to death.
Look at yourself, Howell. You're
Oh,
covered in
it's-
blood.
Not exactly covered.
You said he was splattered.
He is splattered. His shirt is splattered in his face a little bit. There is a fair amount of blood on his knuckles from where he was striking the woman in the face.
It's an idiomatic phrase.
Yes. He's not covered so much as lightly dusted in blood.
Well, I didn't. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Can you account for any of the last several hours?
I don't know. I don't know. Look, I don't know what. Come
Do you
on,
think this
y'all-
could be chaos? I mean, what else could it be?
We were all dead. And we were all brought back.
You think it goes that far?
I honestly don't know. I don't know the power of chaos.
Howell, what is going on?
I didn't kill nobody.
What if you did?
I didn't kill nobody.
We saw you, Howell!
I didn't.
We watched you do it.
What did I do?
You killed The general store owner.
How? What have you not been telling us?
What would I not tell you we're talking about? What would I be hiding from you?
Well, there is one thing.
Well, I mean, I told you about the lady. I mean, I saw her again.
When? Where?
In the canyon. Well, not her, but I mean, one of her kids. Or
Did you agree to kill someone for her?
no, I didn't know. She said I'm free. She said I don't got to do anything for her anymore.
Everyone make a notice roll for me except for Howell.
6.
5.
3. All right. So, Rose, you're entirely distraught, and you're just desperately trying to put the pieces together. The two of you, trying as hard as you can to let your cooler head prevail, notice that when Gabriel asks, "Is there anything you're not telling us?" Howell unconsciously puts his hand on the back of his head and scratches it for a moment, and then starts talking about the popcorn woman.
Do I at all remember that, like him doing? Because he's been doing that a bit, right? He's been scratching his head a little bit.
Not necessarily.
Huh?
I don't. I mean, I saw her, but she said I was free. She said I don't have to do anything for her. She said it's.
Why? Why would you be free?
She asked me if I wanted to be free, and I said yeah. Why wouldn't I want to be? I don't know.
Nobody just lets you out of a contract like that.
Well, I didn't sign a contract in the first place, so it does. You know.
Well, it sounds like you did. This thing thinks you did, at least.
And also, as you're trying to remember desperately as everything is happening here, she didn't just say you were free. She said she found someone else who could fulfill the bargain for you, if you allowed it.
But she said she got somebody else. She doesn't need me anymore.
Somebody else to fill your bargain.
I mean, why would I say no to that? I don't know what that is. I don't know what she wants. You gotta believe me.
What is going on?
I don't know, preacher. I don't know. You gotta believe me. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't.
How? You did.
You did, Howell. You did.
You killed her, and I think you killed that man the other day.
I didn't. No, I can't. That can't be me. That's not me. That's not me. That's not.
I don't.
Rose, you gotta believe me. I didn't do it. I would never hurt nobody. I wouldn't
I
do that.
know it doesn't seem like something you would do, but we did see you doing it. Maybe you didn't kill the other man, but if you didn't, then who did? And why? And why was it so similar?
No. I got so much blood. I don't want this blood.
Howell, why don't you go and wash up a bit, and we'll figure out what to do.
All right, here's the plan. We need to get out of town immediately. We can deal with Howell afterwards and whatever it is he has done. But if these people find out, they will hang him.
This town is going to tear itself apart, and it's going to take Jacob with it. So are we going to warn him or not before we leave?
Oh, Jacob, we can't leave him. We can't. It's my...
No, here's what I think. We killed that woman. And we know that she could make herself large.
What woman? What are you talking about?
Don't worry about it. We took out a bunch of the gang members. We tell Lou that now we believe it was her. She was the one who was killing people. And lo and behold, there was one last victim that we could not stop her from killing before we took her out, and then we get out of town as fast as we can.
Maybe it'll save Jacob. Maybe it won't. But
We've gotta
if
think
nothing
about
else is attacking, if it was always Howell, then it might be the best thing we can do.
Well, there are no more laughing men. So the only other option is Howell.
And if there's someone else out there or something that's been possessing people, then I think we just need to get out of town. Because we have bigger things to deal with.
I would say we fulfilled our obligation to this town. If we remove Howell, we remove the murderer.
What?
Shut up. Stop whining, Howell. I don't know what the hell is going on with you.
Why? I don't even know what...
He clearly doesn't know what happened.
This ain't right. This ain't right. I gotta turn myself in.
No, you can't do that.
I killed a lady. I killed who knows what else.
We don't. You don't know. You don't even remember doing any of that. So maybe it wasn't you.
You told me. You told me you saw me doing it.
I know, but we've run in. You've seen just as much as we have, Howell. Who knows what the hell it could have been? It could have been chaos using you.
Rosaline, make a notice roll for me, and make it at a +2.
Ooh, ace.
Whoa,
Anonymous.
Hey, thanks, Anonymous.
Thank you very much for the anonymous.
Thanks.
That's
Whoever.
probably a name that was too large to fit in there.
Oh,
We're
okay.
too dirty.
So,
Well, if you want recognition, say it in chat, and it'll
Yes.
get to us.
17.
17
Holy
on
cow.
your notice roll. That's with the
I aced
+2.
it twice.
Wow.
Knows everything now.
That's several aces.
I see. Oh.
Or the several raises. So as Howell is saying that, and you're saying we don't know what we saw, and he's getting more and more agitated, again, his hand goes to the back of his head and scratches, and as he does that, that scent of decay or putrescence just sort of wafts through the air right towards you. And all of a sudden, stuff starts clicking into place. Thank you very much, mysterious strangers in chat. So, Rosaline Saoirse Byrne, will you make a smarts roll at a +2 for me?
Yes.
As the one person most exposed over the course of your life to the strange and supernatural.
Plus what?
+2.
So 9.
A 9. That is a success with a raise. All of a sudden, bits and pieces of Hoyle's book that you've been able to decode. The stuff that was just seemed to be musings of Hoyle's about what these jokers, as he called them, were capable of and how they could be harnessed. Something about what they could do with the bodies of the dead and other things that you remember overhearing, bits of conversation that Quentin used to have behind closed doors in hushed tones with other members of the Blackwood Society. And finally, an image flashes into your mind of Colt Holbrook, sallow-skinned, with his knife wound across his neck, still leaking just the barest bit of coagulated blood, and the skin torn open on the side of his mouth from Gabriel's shot, still hanging ragged as he spoke and fought you all time and time again. You suddenly realize that what might be going on with Howell, you've seen before. This might be what people refer to in whispered tones as debtors, or more officially, harrowed. And suddenly you realize there's a strong possibility that it's not just Howell in Howell's body. Thank you very much to you mysterious strangers in chat for giving Rosaline a little bonus to everything clicking into place.
Oh. Howell, come here.
What?
Come here. I'm gonna go over to him and essentially turn him around and
Okay.
and look.
What are you
at
looking
where
at?
He's.
So you turn him around and pull him into the light from the window. And you kind of pull the hair on the back of his head aside. And you can see his hair is not fully growing back there. He has ugly scars from when you all were brought back. You all carry with you marks of your resurrection. But as you pull that back, you see that it doesn't look like the places where the back of his head was bashed open have fully knit together. And there is just the slightest trickle of some sort of foul-smelling, brownish, black substance just kind of slicking the back of his hair. What you always mistook for sweat is in fact some sort of foul ichor that just seems to be lightly oozing from the back of Howell's head.
Howell,
What do you...
this is not something that anybody deserves. You don't deserve that.
What don't I deserve? What are you talking about? What's back there? What's in the back of my head?
We've seen this before.
What do you mean? What have we seen before?
You remember Holbrook
Of course
and
I
how we
remember
killed
Holbrook.
him? But he came back.
Johnny Carrington.
Johnny too. They came back with something else. But they're not themselves anymore because they're not alive.
And now you all remember what Star Lizard and Wolf That Leaps Through Fire told you back in that cave so long ago near Coldwater Creek about how it wasn't just Johnny Carrington and Colt Holbrook, but was in fact a Manitou living in their brains that had brought them back from the land of the dead and was constantly battling with them for control of their body.
Now wait, all of us came back. All of us.
That's right, yeah. It wasn't just me. We all came back. We all died.
I don't.
It can't just be, what if we're all possessed or
I
something?
suppose it's possible, but I don't know that it's the same for everyone.
And how images suddenly start to flash through your head. A strange town in the middle of an unknown desert, a pillar very far away, stretching all the way up to the heavens. Rosaline and Gabe stabbing each other. James being hauled away in irons for murder. And you stabbing yourself and watching Ludi take her own life with the shotgun. And a whisper of a menacing phrase. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
I got a weird question to ask y'all. What do you remember about when we died?
I don't. I just remember.
You remember, like, having a dream?
No.
It was blackness, and then I woke up in the place that I had died.
You didn't see nothing, Bogue?
No.
Alright. Well, I saw something. I saw my worst nightmare, I guess. You were all there, and I thought we were fine, and then both stabbed each other.
We stabbed each other.
You had to sacrifice something you loved, and I mean, that's what it was for you two. At least that's what you thought. Then you gave up your chase for the Baron, and Booty was there. So, something's playing with my brain. Something's playing with my brain.
Would I know about that?
No one really knows for sure, but you might have heard snatches of conversation, again, that are now sort of making more sense contextualized about what it must be like for a consciousness to claw itself back from the land of the dead. What you must go through in order to return.
That does sound like what I've heard. They're called, I think, Deaders or Herod.
Oh.
Do I know, would I have any information about, like, what it's like to be Herod?
Some. A little, but you're still...
Nothing helpful?
You're still trying to to put everything together. You hadn't really had a reason, a focal point for all of these pieces to sort of coalesce around. You know that they're not quite dead,
Yeah.
but neither are they alive, and also they're always locked in struggle with the hitchhiker in their heads.
I don't fully know what it means, except that you've got something you're fighting in there.
What about the rest of us? I felt like myself. Why would it just be Howell?
Do I know? Can I smell myself?
Yes.
Okay.
And it seems like, so you remember, and you guys may not know this, before this season began, I sent each of them a minor secret in order to throw all of them off the track of what was happening. And Howell's was that you were worried, even though you're not a doctor, you didn't feel like everything was right with your wound.
Right.
And you were worried that that might have happened to the rest of them too, and you might all be living on borrowed time. But in fact, your wound just never fully healed. And you do notice, Howell seems a bit different now. It's like you can sort of see all of this for the first time in a different way. You don't remember being able to smell this odor coming from Howell. You don't remember his skin looking so pale and sallow.
This makes sense. Dot shied away from you. She's never shied away from you.
That dog growled and ran like it had seen some sort of predator.
I don't know what this means.
I don't know what it means either. but Howell is still part of our posse. Whatever is happening to him, we're in this fight together. Now, I agree with you, Gabe. We have to get out of this town. We have to notify Big Lou, whatever, tell him whatever. I think if we get you out...
Can I talk to Bo for a minute, alone?
All right.
Fine.
You guys leave the room?
All right.
Oh man.
Bo, you can't keep me around. If I could strangle any one of you in your sleep, like, I'm just a walking liability at this point. And I don't think, I mean, the preacher might understand, but I think you know what you got to do.
We've been traveling together for a long time now, Howell. And I think I know what you're asking me to do. And what I'm asking you is I need time. I don't shy away from that. I don't shy away from this responsibility that you're asking me for. But neither am I going to leave you behind and let this frontier justice take you. As long as you're with us, we can control you, as it were.
How do you know that? How do you know any of that?
We
You
were-
could fall asleep tomorrow and I could be on your neck.
If you kill me, that will be the best thing that's ever happened to me, honestly.
Oh.
Things that have killed me before, well, they weren't as nice as you, Howell.
By the way, at least Gabe is definitely listening in.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that Rose is gonna leave. She's too curious.
Okay, so you both are you walked out of the room and then immediately positioned yourselves on either side of the door so you could just listen in on this
Yes.
conversation.
100%.
And we're coming too, Mr. Frodo!
I'm glad we're on the same page in that.
Howell, everything in this world is out to kill us. Quite honestly, I don't think that I would rather spend the rest of my days here with anyone else but the people who are in this building. And you have... I don't know what's happening to you right now, but you are part of this posse. And that means that we will care for you, and we will take care of you, and we will figure out what's going on. And if you do decide to kill again, I will put you down. I know that you do not want that to happen again.
I don't want it. Yeah, you don't even think twice. You do it. You see me lurching for somebody's neck, you do it.
I do feel, though, that we could harness this somehow.
No more deals, no more black magic or nothing. No.
It ain't black magic.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what's living inside my brain, leaking out the back of my head. And I don't want to know. I don't want to let this thing out. I want to keep it in or just end it. That's it. We don't need this. We got each other. We don't need anybody else.
Howell. Gabe is going to step back into the room.
What the? Oh,
Come on.
All right.
Let's be realistic here.
So you would have stopped him if he pulled a gun?
I would have tried. Look. I understand what you're going through. More than you might believe. Now, the changes that I've had to deal with are not in the same direction, but they did fundamentally shake a little bit of how I saw myself. But we've all realized that what we are trying to deal with here is larger than any of our own moralities or personal beliefs. There are forces here that we need to try and deal with that are trying to destroy the world, trying to destroy everything. Now, if that means that perhaps some dark deals have needed to be made, I think that is not too much of a price to ask.
It doesn't have to be that different from what I do.
Rose also steps into the doorway.
All right.
I use the Manitou's power myself. I take it from them. And I hopefully, more often than not, maybe more now than before, try and use it to help people and for good.
Rose, I know you won't believe me, but I ain't as strong as you. I can't do that.
That is bullshit. The most I've ever heard. You can do this as much as you can do anything else. You've dealt with your wife leaving you, and you haven't to turn around and leave her. That's not an easy thing to do. It's not something I've done.
What's Ludi even gonna think? Look at me.
Here's what Ludi's gonna think. Ludi's gonna think the world continues going. Tomorrow keeps happening. She's gonna think that she doesn't live in the middle of a hellscape. And that's gonna be because we deal with chaos.
Just think of it as a tool you can use. And once we've taken care of chaos, then we'll figure out what the next step is. There's plenty more books to read, more research to do, and maybe if we find Nightlinger, maybe there's something more that we can discover in this book that he has. We don't know. We've seen so much. There could be anything. We might be able to change this somehow. We don't know.
You think so?
Anything is possible. If we've seen that, it's generally been more negative, but maybe there's a positive side to all of this. Maybe we'll finally get there if we can just push through this shit first.
Right.
Howell, frankly, we can't afford to do this without you.
All right, but like I told Bo, you see me lurching, you go for the head, and you don't just.
All right, well, we'll negotiate when the time comes. For now, I think we need to go back and hide that body. Some way it won't be found.
Oh God.
Well, I think if we go and tell Big Lou that it was that woman, it doesn't really matter if the body's hidden or
Sure.
not.
At least put it somewhere that it could reasonably be done by that woman who ran the gang.
Seems like it is. I think
No.
if we go to Big Lou, tell him that, and then get out of town, we'll be all right.
We leave for Prescott as early as we can tomorrow morning. Are we agreed on that?
Yes.
I gotta take like 100 baths or something to get the smell off first, so I don't want to see that body.
Yeah. Well, you
I don't
won't
wanna-
have to.
So I'm just gonna do that. Just let me know when you need me.
Howell, I recommend you do not go too far out of any of our sights if you can help it.
That's right. No, you're right, preacher. Yeah, don't lose sight of me. Yeah. All right. Well, give me a couple of minutes. Let me just wash up.
All right. I think that went about as well as could be expected. Hal Melton, you have a new statistic to track on your character sheet. Dominion.
Dominion.
And right now, your Dominion score is 0.
Oh, cool.
You and the thing in your head are on relatively equal footing right now.
Doesn't feel that way.
Well, call this his little introductory show.
Oh. Okay.
But from now on, he's going to play by the rules.
Okay.
Perhaps he was getting a little outside help somehow. But for now, you're on relatively equal footing. That could change. And we will be keeping track of that as we go on. But just to put a
Seems
button...
the person that the popcorn lady got to help out with your debt wasn't that far away.
Frank the Manitou, just next door.
Just to put a little button on that scene, let's all raise our glasses.
Uh-oh.
Red Ketchup FBI.
We have a toast. Oh, Red Ketchup FBI. Thank you very much for the bit.
Hey,
Great name.
We have a toast from Tyler Rhodes.
Wow.
Sweet treat Sweet treat, sweet treat, sweet treat, sweet treat.
We got him to say it.
Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Tyler Rose, for bringing back a joke that only us know from Not Scary Part
From last
night.
night.
It's great. It's the best joke.
Also, Anonymous would like us to toast.
Sorry.
Hold on. Hold for beverage. Hold for beverage.
Cider incoming.
I need to open it too? Man, this takes forever.
Ah, so long. Why don't you just a bunch of those open already, like James does?
Something wicked this way comes. Evil sneaking up your back. Devil breathing down your neck. Saying, where do you run? Where should you hide? It matters not, for you will die. Hashtag Rose and Gabe forever. Something wicked this way comes. Evil sneaking up your back. Devil breathing down your neck. Saying, where do you run? Where do you hide? It matters not, for you will die. Hashtag Rose and Gabe forever. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Anonymous.
You know, I got to say that line in Macbeth when I was a witch.
I don't think that is verbatim the line from Macbeth.
It's not.
Also, we missed this earlier, but Class Dunce would like to give their piece of cursed Spanish gold to James Bow.
Fancy
So
pants.
thank you
Thank
very much.
you.
Also, I would like to point out that the mysterious strangers in the chat have unlocked the remaining story tiers.
Whoa!
Those are History of a Title and Fantastic Location.
Hang on, what?
So thank you very much, mysterious strangers in chat. We will get to those very shortly. So, the plan is you're going out, you're leaving the body where it is, or you're going to move it?
I think we're leaving it, right? Is that what we decided?
I think we gotta set it up somewhere that, like, it could be found. Like,
I think it'll be found by scent. It's under the general store. It's her store.
Or you could also just say that, not wanting to upset an already upset populace, you stopped this laughing gang member after, unfortunately, she had taken the life of one other citizen
Yeah,
of
or
town,
that.
and then hid the body,
Either way.
so as to not upset everybody.
yeah, I think if we leave it to be found, then that'll seem like another murder afterwards.
It definitely will. I think
Yeah.
that's a good impulse there. So, are you going to Big Lou right now?
I think as soon as morning starts.
As soon as morning breaks. So, Howell,
Yeah.
you spend a few minutes trying to freshen up, trying to bathe. No matter what you do, the smell doesn't seem to leave.
No. Okay.
But you are getting used to it.
I'm getting. Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Horace B.
Thank you.
Ramazo
Megan.
Cahur.
Thanks for this.
Bat Cave 63.
Oh, I was like,
Slats, slats,
wait.
slats. And relative D-Pod. Thank you all for the sub.
Gifts from Vampire 54.
Oh, yes, from Vampire
Thank you,
54.
Vampire 54.
Are you at Cave 63?
I am back cave.
But
I
anyone
was gonna say.
anyone who was gifted those subs, let us know in chat who you would like to give your piece of cursed Spanish gold to.
If you're actually in,
If you're in the chat.
if you're in the chat.
So, Megan, you're one of those people.
I mean, I'm just.
But you have to say it in chat.
What?
No, just say it right now.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Batcave 63 gives their piece of cursed Spanish gold to Rosaline
Wow.
Byrne. Thanks very much, Batcave 63.
Typical cannibal.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So, as soon as day breaks, you guys are going
I might need it.
to let Big Lou know.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to get out of town as soon as possible.
That's
While
just
those are
gonna
still
keep
going on.
happening.
The sounds delay a little bit.
All right. So, how we sleeping? Same arrangement? Everybody in their own rooms?
I will not be sleeping.
I go to Bogue, and I'm just like, why don't we take tonight in shifts?
That sounds like a good plan.
All right.
All right. Hal, you're not going to be sleeping?
No.
What are you going to do instead?
I don't know. Just stare out my window like a weird, creepy person.
Okay. So, are you guys taking shifts outside of Howell's room?
Yeah.
I mean, I might try to engage Howell and just like, come on, Howell, let's just let's pass the time.
Yeah.
Play some cards or something.
All right.
Yeah,
So
that
you
sounds
guys
nice.
take some time to rest as much as you can in the night, and you two are going to play some cards during James Bogue's watch. It's
Smoking card boys.
something that'll give him Howell a little bit of a break from his own thoughts.
Some normalcy, yeah.
Howell,
Yeah.
Can you make a vigor roll for me, please?
It's too soon.
Normalcy.
It's too soon. Vigor, you said?
I did.
Okay, that's pretty good for me. Don't know if I should have told you that, but I did.
I'm sorry. Spirit roll. Make a spirit roll.
It does
Sorry.
sort of feel like you just
I
punished him
didn't.
for...
I didn't. I looked it up. Make a spirit roll. I'm glad your vigor is good. That's not what you need. Make a spirit roll.
That is the opposite of what I'm good at. It's a D6. Hey, I aced it.
Ace it on the 6.
8.
8. All right. So, you guys spend a little time smoking your pipe, smoking your cigarette, and playing cards. Howell, you notice that whereas before you used to get a nice soothing buzz from smoking a cigarette, that sensation is no longer present. It just feels like pulling smoke into your lungs and expelling it. There is no other associated sensation. Also, Horace B. and Ramis So Kiher would like to give their pieces of cursed Spanish gold to Howell Melton.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching.
So you guys spend a little time playing some cards in relative silence, maybe every now and then exchanging some brief words. And about an hour goes by. Howell, will you make another spirit roll for me at a -2?
I can re-roll these, right?
Yeah.
You can say no.
No, you can re-roll these.
Okay. It's a -2?
-2.
Nah.
You're gonna re-roll it?
What? Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, you've never done this before.
Yeah, he has, like, many times.
But like,
He's like
Re-roll
this
with
all
cursed
the
Spanish
time.
gold.
but not when you have this much Spanish
He
gold.
does it to me all the time.
Thought that was a bit.
Still a -2. So that's still just a 2. Do you want to re-roll or do you want to keep it?
About one more.
One more piece of cursed Spanish gold to re-roll this mysterious spirit roll.
Nope.
Wow.
That's a 0. A total of 0.
I guess I'll keep the 2.
You're gonna keep it. So, James, you are dealing Howell a hand, and you're picking up your hand, and Howell picks up his hand, and maybe one of you makes a sort of dry remark about poker faces, and Howell laughs quietly to himself, and then immediately just keels over onto the table, totally unconscious.
How?
Are you feeling for a pulse?
Yeah.
No pulse.
God damn it.
Did we ever check his pulse when he was alive?
You did not.
I did. He did breathe on me though. I did get a breath.
Well, he can talk, so he's got to be able to breathe.
Well, yeah, but
Because that involves moving air.
really?
Yeah.
The science at the time was not 100% certain
I'm pretty
on
sure
that.
it's humor.
Yeah, but
It's humors. It's humors.
about?
It's humors and maybe the 4 elements.
Yeah.
Howell just goes unconscious on the table. Face plants onto the table. Cards go everywhere.
How?
He is, for all intents and purposes, dead to the world.
Okay, this is gonna take some getting used to. You're up.
So you wake up, Gabe?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. How's Hal doing?
He's dead.
What do you mean Hal's dead?
He's still dead.
Then why would you start the conversation like that?
Oh, dry humor, I suppose.
Oh, he looks way more dead than he did last time I looked.
Yeah. Well, I don't rightly know how this works, so
Well, do you think he's going to get back up?
I don't know.
All right, get some sleep. I'll sit for the creepiest watch shift I've ever done.
All right. So was it 4 hours and 4 hours that you guys were doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 of your hours passed before Howell did this. And then he's just been like this for 2 hours before you woke Gabriel up.
And I've just been sitting there with dead Howl sitting on the other side of the table.
I just before I leave though, I check his cards and I just
Yeah, you had him dead to rights.
yeah.
Gabe plays solitaire and cheats.
There's no one to watch him. About an hour before dawn, Gabe, as you are just blearily winning yet another hand of solitaire.
I'm so good at this.
Howell just snaps back to consciousness.
Go, Mike!
And you feel entirely well rested, like you just woke up from a full night of sleep.
Oh,
You've got a 4 on your.
oh. I guess I passed out there. What happened to Bogue? What time is it?
I reckon it's about 6 or 7 o'clock.
Did we start? Were we playing cards?
I don't know when Bogue woke me up. You were dead again.
I don't feel that. I feel fine. Oh.
And
Well, you don't smell fine.
No, he doesn't. It still smells pretty ripe. And you pass the remaining hour until dawn breaks, and then it's time for everyone else to wake up for the day. Who has the fewest pieces of cursed Spanish gold right now? Gabriel Pryor, relative D-Pod, would like to give their piece of cursed Spanish gold to you.
Thank you.
Nice. Nice work.
Thank you, relative D-Pod. All right. So, plan is head to Big Lou.
Yeah.
Let him know that you found the murder, you found the body.
How?
You've taken care of it.
Why don't you just keep a little bit of distance from anybody?
Yeah.
Do we have any sort of potpourri or perfume?
I might have something you could use, but I think it'll just go on top of it.
I mean, whatever helps at this point. I don't think I could pass this off as grime anymore.
I've spent plenty of time around men and women who smell very close to that, and they're not dead, so it's pretty typical in this day and age.
Worst case scenario, we can say he shot himself or something.
Oh, come on, don't say I shat myself.
Well, I don't want to have to, but you smell like you are dead.
The clouds are heavy and dark, and there is just a heavy sensation in the air. It feels like a storm is coming.
We better hurry. Make it ahead of this rain.
Do we know what time the train leaves?
You do not, but you could find out.
All right.
You don't even know if a train is going to leave on any given day. Rail service has been quite spotty of late. Even on just this Lone Star spur, everything has been thrown off by the sudden disappearance of the entirety of the territory of Colorado.
All right.
Big Lou will know if something's coming.
So you're heading to Big Lou.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Morning.
Morning.
I hope you got good news.
Lou, we've got mixed news.
What's that?
Well, we didn't bring it up yesterday because there were others around. We didn't want to make anything more upset.
Hold on. And he goes and takes a look around and makes sure outside of his door that none of his fellow rail workers are listening in, and pulls the door to and says, all right, what is this?
The woman we brought in yesterday,
Yeah? You said she was the leader of them Laughing Men.
and she had on her and used, while we encountered her, a couple of pills.
Pills?
Some of those strange new scientific pills people have been using.
God damn it, ain't
You
nothing
know-
good ever come from any of that new science bullshit.
It made her rather large and strong. It was quite a trouble for us trying to take her in. Now, your men said that they saw someone who was rather large strangling the man the other day.
That's true.
Well, her associate says that she's been taking these pills and, along with the vandalism, perhaps gotten something out of control.
That sounds like what might happen to someone playing around with that mad science.
Now, what we didn't tell you the other day is that we found another body. Before we could stop her, she strangled the owner of the general store.
Zeddy?
I don't know her name,
Vampire 54, thank you very
Thank
much
you,
for this
Vampire
hit.
54. but I
Well,
wanted to keep it on the down low. We saw how blood was running hot.
make a persuade roll for me.
That's what I do. That is an 11, which makes it a 15.
All right, I don't see any point in trying to resist that.
But what if you ace a billion times?
He wants to believe this.
Okay,
though. Well, I was right smart of you folks. I think had word of that gotten around at that time before everyone knew the Laughing Men had been taken care of, we'd have had a full-on panic in our streets, and might have been more than just the Miller family done got their necks stretched. So I understand why you done what you done. And while I am, of course, saddened to hear, as always, of any loss of human life, I gotta say, of everyone, Zeddy ain't exactly the most loved person in town.
Yeah. Be it as it may. Now that they're dealt with, I think it's best that we make our way out of town.
I see.
We were aiming to get to Prescott.
All right. That's as far as the Lone Star Spur around these parts will take you. That's the end of the line.
Do you know when the next train's coming through?
Well, God willing, and the creeks don't rise. There's supposed to be a train coming through about 3 p.m. today.
Perfect.
All right.
You looking to be on it?
Yes, we are.
I think I can swing that with Lone Star.
That would be very helpful. We'd very much appreciate it.
Least I can do for all you've done to help me keep the peace here in Despair.
Well, all we can do is pray that the peace stays.
Well, I'll do my best to ensure that.
I think it's tantamount to this city and the prosper of Despair that you try to keep the peace as best as possible and maybe do not point fingers where they do not belong.
I take your meaning. And it ain't never my intention to point too many fingers. But you know what it's like when people's blood gets up. But I will do my best to keep the peace as best I can till such a time we get goddamn actual town organization in place here.
Well,
Long past time, if you ask me.
God willing, it won't be too long now. Maybe with the attention this has brought to your little hamlet, things will accelerate.
Perhaps. But listen, I appreciate everything you folks done, and I'll make sure I do what I can to get you on that train, but I think it would be best if you get your things together and you keep a low profile. I will let the townsfolk of Despair know what is going on, what has been done, and who was responsible.
We
I
could
think
not
it'd be
more
better
in agreement.
coming from me.
Of course.
And listen, thank you for reminding us what's right and what's wrong. We all get a little bit mixed up out here on our own from time to time. So I appreciate what you folks done for the town of Despair and for me as well.
Of course.
All right now, you get on out of here. Say goodbye to them Millers.
Surely will.
All right. So it sounds like he's got all of that handled for you guys. All that remains is for you to get your things together and prepare to leave.
Yeah, and I think we will stop by, like, Jacob's place and say, you know, we're leaving. We've taken care of everything.
Hold on. Let me open up my bag of mustaches. Oh, my friends! I cannot tell you how much this means to me, your friend Jake.
I will.
You have done us Millers such a kindness over and over again. And I will always think of you as true friends. I know you must leave. I know you have your business, your very important business. But just know here in Despair, you have your good friend Jacob and his family.
Jake, you might still just be careful in this tone.
Yes, we Millers, we are always careful. As we say in Pennsylvania, it is better to be careful than it is to grab the turkey by the tail. And we Millers, this is something we live by. We will be careful, but we are a proud people, and we will be accepted by the people of Despair.
Well, good luck with that. But just remember, no matter how prideful you get, a man protecting his family is the highest calling.
Of course, Mr. Pryor, of course. Thank you very much, BSB Care.
Thanks,
for the
BSB
tip.
Care.
Thank you.
Well, I will not tell the girls you are going, for they will cry. But after you leave, we will have a meal, and we will set the places for you. So it is like you have not left at all. And we will all break bread together, in a way.
It's appreciated.
You are always welcome here.
I think Howell this whole time is kind of standing a little farther away from everybody, just so you don't catch the smell. But he's also just trying to keep eyes away from Jake, just because it's kind of his fault.
And Jacob doesn't really seem to notice. He's trying hard to contain his own emotion welling up.
It's
You've been a
hard.
wonderful host.
You have been. And it's hard for us to be so far away from our families sometimes. So you remind me a bit of mine. Thank you for that.
Miss Rosaline, do not say these things to Jacob as you are getting ready to go. You just go. You go. You do your things, and we will think of you fondly and wish you well in your endeavors.
You as well.
Okay. All right. I must go open my store. Goodbye, my friends.
Right, Jake.
Take care, Jake.
And he turns and marks back to the Miller Textile shop.
Phil,
It is now drizzling lightly, but there is an ever-present threat of a larger storm to come.
we should probably collect all our things and be prepared to leave as soon as we are able.
And you do those things. You do those things and get all of your things together. Try and leave the guest house at least as nice as you found it. Airbnb has not yet been invented, but still, there is a sense of decorum.
Right, we want a good review.
Exactly.
The posse, 3 stars.
You get all of your things
Smelled like
together.
Broke your couch.
As the storm breaks overhead. And you head to the train station, waiting for the 3 o'clock train. And as you do, let's raise our glasses. Vampire 54 would like us to toast. New from Smith & Robards. Howell, smell, keep everything. Wait,
What?
Howell smell, keep everything away. And we mean everything. Howell smell. New from Smith & Robards. Howell smell, keep everything away. And we mean everything. Woo doggy, this is strong. New from Smith & Robards. Howell smell, keep everything away. And we mean everything. Woo doggy, this is strong. Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Vampire 54.
Foul!
And BSB Care would like us to
That's
toast.
pretty good.
Manny Manitou, working for you. We got a job to do now. Come along with me. I can see some people who need some strangling.
Oh, come on!
Manny Manitou, working for you. We got a job to do. Come along with me. I can see some people who need some strangling. Set them up and knock them down. Thank you very much, BSB Care. And that means we have unlocked the first mystery box draw.
Oh boy!
Drop! I did it.
I'm
Nothing
afraid of
works
it now.
that way. Nothing works that way. Mystery box.
My reaction time is too slow for that to be how it
The
works.
mystery box.
Jordan just wakes up in the middle of the night going, draw!
I got it. This mystery box card will come into effect when it does.
Well, wasn't there one last week that would come into effect when it happened? Did that
They
happen?
did. Both cards from last week came into effect.
Okay.
This one will come into effect when it does. Thank you very much for this mysterious box.
Thank you.
So you wait for this train to come, and come it does. One of the rare trains that arrive on time in this day after the Colorado incident, we're calling. There's a lot of incidents of late, more and more in the West, it seems. And all too soon, you find yourselves aboard this train.
We're all like, don't explode.
Don't explode. Don't explode. Don't explode.
As the storm continues to rage
Howell, maybe don't say that out loud.
I wasn't.
outside of the train. Now, this is a Lone Star train, and Lone Star was once a very prosperous rail line, but it's no longer a major rail, and it's fallen a little bit into disrepair. Now, this train, a passenger train, was clearly once meant to be a very fine train, but the burnished wood is now dull and a bit splintered. The carpet is a bit threadbare and worn, and the passenger cabins are not as comfortable and plush as they maybe once were. Some of the stuffing in the seats has flattened out as the seats have gotten old and not been replaced. But altogether, it's not the worst train you've ever ridden on. And there's a fair amount of people on this train as well. All people heading north up to Prescott, or at least along other stops along the way. A few people you
Only this
recognize.
column is reacting to the train.
Just that column? Well, yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh,
The
that's
other
what
two
it
are,
was.
yeah. There's a few people you recognize from the town of Despair, a few rail workers whose faces are familiar to you, if nothing else. You see all manner of people on this train from all places around. And as you're all in the dining car, having a little bit of a light snack, and watching the rain just wash down the windows, you just take a look around and see new people, new faces, heading off to a new place, not knowing what is in store for you there. Gabe, make a notice roll for me.
Wow, two
Ace
double
on the
ace.
8,
Double
and
ace.
6. All right, so that is a 12.
You see a lanky, middle-aged man kind of down on the other end of the car, his feet up on the table, just smoking a cigarette and having a cup of what looks like very strong coffee. And though you can't ever catch him fully, you get the distinct impression that he is staring at you from time to time. But whenever you look, he just kind of passes it off as though he's just looking around the train car, but he does seem to be paying a little bit of attention to you.
Gabe's gonna get up and take his cane and kind of limp over to the man. Sit down in the seat next to him.
As you do, you pass by a young couple, perhaps, although they look kind of similar, and the man is just shoveling food. It looks like a plate of maybe some cheese and meats, just shoveling it into his mouth, almost grotesquely. As you walk by, the sound of it bothers you, and you hear the woman say, "Come on, please, Seymour, you're embarrassing me." "Shut up, what do you know?" Just as you walk by, and you grab a seat at this man's table.
Well, this is some mighty fine weather we've been having, is it not?
It's pretty shitty weather out there. Vampire 54, thank you for the tip.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But please do grab a seat.
Are you trying to get my attention for something?
I ain't trying to get your attention.
Well, you sure seem fascinated with what it was I was doing over there,
Oh, did I?
if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, apologies if you caught me looking. I just thought something about you looked familiar is all.
Well, I've been all over. Where's we might know each other from?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to place. See, something about your face just struck a chord with me. Not sure exactly what it is, but I'll tell you what. If it springs to mind, I'll be sure and find you and let you know.
Well, I will sit in rapt anticipation until that moment when it comes to your brain.
Well, hopefully you ain't gonna sit here and leave your pretty lady friend all alone over there.
Oh, well, she can sure handle herself.
I imagine she can. I'm sorry, it's rude of me. You came over and sat down at my table uninvited, and I didn't do you the pleasure of introducing myself. Hendricks, Fisher Hendricks.
Pryor. Gabriel Pryor.
That's so. Well, that ain't a name that's familiar to me. Maybe you must have one of them faces. I'm sure you get this a lot. People just
all the
saying
time.
you remind them of cousin or a friend or an ex-husband, perhaps.
Well, I don't get that one too often, but sure, I've got a face that looks like it could be anyone's.
That must be it, because I definitely don't know no priors. BSB Care, thank you very much.
Thank
for
you,
the tip.
BSB Care. So where's it you're heading?
Oh, hither and yon. I just spend my time riding around looking for work.
And what is the work that you do,
Well,
if you don't mind me asking?
Mr. Pryor, I do mine just a touch. Now, we just met. A couple of upstanding gentlemen on a train. Now,
Yeah.
perhaps I did spend a little too much time looking at you there, and I apologize, but as I said, you did strike me as someone that I might have recognized. So, why don't we just say it was an honest mistake?
Well, I'm getting the impression we're already hitting it off rather well. I feel a kinship.
That's so.
Sure is. You a man of God?
I'm sorry?
You a religious man. Out here in the West, it sure is nice to have an anchor to keep your life in order.
He looks around. My pappy always said, religion's something that you don't discuss in polite conversation. That's something that's your business
Well,
and yours alone. So,
turns out religion is my business. Asking us one friend to another. Are you religious? Are you a man of God?
puts his feet down and kind of sits up. Now, Mr. Pryor, was it? Listen,
That's correct.
I already told you I ain't exactly looking for company or conversation, and I ain't too willing to talk about what it is I do for a living. Now, what makes you think that I want to discuss my personal religious inclinations with you?
Well, because we're here having a friendly conversation, and I ask.
Well, see, the thing is, from where I'm sitting, it ain't feeling so friendly all of a sudden.
Well, that's because you won't answer my question. Are you a man of God?
Not that it's any business of yours. But no, I ain't been to church in quite some time. For some reason, Gabriel, that makes you real mad.
How close are the rest of us to this?
I don't know. Probably too far away. This guy's on the other end of the dining cabin, but you might have been concerned when Gabriel walked up and
Well,
seated himself at this man's
I
table.
don't think it's that unusual for him to do something like that, but if I saw it seem to get heated, I might go over there.
It does seem like all of a sudden this man that was somewhat leisurely is now sitting up, and the conversation seems to be getting a bit more intense.
I might just be like, I'm gonna go check on Gabe, and I'll walk over there and just be like, Diana, is everything all right?
Now you wander off into this hellish west, this unknown territory, and you don't believe that there is some greater force, a God, that is guiding your path and protecting you.
Mr. Pryor, I don't know what is happening right now, but your lady friend done asked you a question.
I don't think it's that unclear. Now, I came to you wondering if you were a man of God, and you say no. You could go out here in the world and have the arrogance to believe that there is no greater power watching over you that is controlling your life.
Now Gabriel's voice is getting very loud, and you guys are seeing, along with everyone else in the dining car, everyone has gotten kind of hushed and is looking at this shouting man over in the corner.
Gabriel, what are you doing?
Listen
I
to
will
your
handle
friend
this.
there.
I think that maybe you should come back over to the table.
No, I have business with this
I'll-
man.
What business?
I don't know that
I'll
we...
walk up. Gabriel.
Bogue, I'm having a conversation.
Why don't you listen to your friends, mister?
Why don't you listen to the word of God?
Make a smarts roll for me, Gabriel.
All right. That's 3.
That's not enough to succeed. You gonna
What
re-roll
sort
it?
of... No.
All right, then you feel the overwhelming urge. If this man will not see reason with words, you feel like you need to show him reason with force, and you are possessed by this overwhelming instinct to just smack him right across the face, just lay into him until he sees the light of the Lord. And you feel your fist just reaching out. Make a fighting roll.
Can I try and stop him?
I'm gonna have you make an agility roll at a -2 because this is very atypical for the preacher, and you do not expect this to be happening. So first, make that for me.
Before I do it, I'm gonna say, well, if God doesn't have the righteousness to smite you, maybe I should do it for him.
Okay. All right.
Minus what?
-2.
8.
8. All right. Make your fighting roll.
Whoop. Where'd it go?
Oh, you aced on
Oh,
that.
I aced.
D6.
So that's a 10.
10. So even though you see what's about to happen, James, it catches you off guard. This is not something you expect from the preacher. And before you have the chance to stop him, you see his fist just snaking out and just connecting solidly with this man. Oh!
Gabriel!
Heathen! Blasphemer!
What in the hell is wrong with you?
What the hell is wrong with you?
Oh, he's the
You
one.
want to go to hell?
He
What the
starts
hell is happening?
rolling up his sleeves and
No,
gets
wait,
up.
wait,
All
wait,
right,
wait,
we're
wait,
doing
wait,
this.
hold on.
Whoa.
I can handle my
No,
business.
very
Okay.
clearly you can't handle yourself.
Intimidating presence.
Okay. Make your intimidation roll.
Wait, to who?
Both of them.
Both. It's an area effect for him.
What's this resisted by?
Spirit. We'll
Oh,
we'll
boy.
get to that.
I feel like I do better than that.
What'd you roll?
5.
A 5? All right.
Well, 7.
With your +2.
Yeah.
But you're gonna re-roll it with Cursed Spanish Gold?
Yeah.
All right.
Dang it.
Same thing.
Let's see, we're getting this a little bit. Let's see what happens.
One more.
One more. All right. Cursed Spanish Gold. Re-roll it.
Okay. Let's see. That's 9.
9?
Yeah.
You gonna keep that?
Yeah.
All right. Resist with Spirit.
Which he has in speed.
Oh, but this gentleman rolls a 1.
I got a 6.
Okay.
Okay.
And just for the sake of this seems negative for our party,
Yeah.
I'm not going to re-roll that.
Okay. So, Bo, what do you do or say?
I say Gabriel, and I stand right in the middle between the two of them, and I eye you. Just
Gabe, make another smarts roll for me.
Uh-oh.
That's a 4.
4. Okay. So James steps in between you and this man and puts his hands out, says your name, and stares you down. And you feel yourself just instinctively responding to the sudden force in his voice. You see the man across from him sort of back up, and all of a sudden you kind of snap back to yourself and realize, whew, you maybe let your temper get the best of you here. Huh. Well, this is a right embarrassing situation.
and I look at Rose real quick, and I look at him. Mister, I apologize for my friend here. It seems he's
No, James, I apologize for myself. I got somewhat carried away. Let me get your next drink.
Somewhat carried away. You punched me in the face, Mr. Pryor. Unprovoked, I might add.
Now, you look like someone who can handle it, and I apologize. But Gabriel's kind of at a loss for words.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We've had a bit of a rough go, which is no excuse for the behavior. Sorry for that. We apologize for what happened here.
Miss, ain't nothing I don't think stiff drink, kind word from a pretty face smooth over, but I thank you, Mr. Pryor, to keep your distance. And I won't have to go and alert that suddenly concerned-looking rail line employee standing over yonder that someone needs to be ejected from this here train.
I don't think there's any call for that.
I don't think there has to be neither.
I think it's best we go to another car, Gabriel.
Oh no, that doesn't have to be necessary. I just think you should stay on your end, and I'll stay over here on mine.
In that we are all in agreement.
Right. I like a fairly nice whiskey.
And you shall have a fairly nice whiskey.
Much obliged. And he goes back down and kind of sits at his table, puts his feet up, and looks out the window.
We were in like a dining car, right?
You're all in a dining car, yeah, but the majority of the passengers are here in the dining car. There's at least a little bit of a sense of community and lightness. With the storm as oppressive and dark as it is outside, it starts to feel a bit claustrophobic in the passenger cars.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Before we find out, let's raise our glasses.
Okay.
Vampire 54 would like us to toast, and I'm guessing this is in Yake's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Is the frontier's gentleman getting chalked up? Is the frontier's gentleman getting chalked up? Set him up and knock him down. Thank you very much, Vampire 54. And if I just accidentally made light of the fact that you have 2 braces on each of your hands and it was hard for you to type that, I apologize. But I think it works very well as Jacob Miller. So
What the hell, Jordan?
And BSB Care would like us to toast. Quick, someone donate to get the marshal some real socks.
Oh, sweet burn, sweet sock
I
burn.
don't know what kind of socks you wear in Canada, but
Wow.
quick!
Quick!
Someone donate to get the marshal some real socks! Set him up and knock him down. That's the last time I put my feet up on the table.
Sweet sock burn.
And with that, we have unlocked another draw from the mystery.
Yeah!
From the mystery
You shouldn't have
box.
called it a
Mystery!
Another card
So many draws!
from the box of mystery.
Woo!
I just said Drew. I didn't say
Drew.
Yeah.
Drew? Drew? Like past tense?
Yeah.
I thought
No, I
Never
didn't.
mind. This card will come into effect
When it comes.
when it comes
Oh.
into effect.
Oh,
Thank you very
This
much,
guy.
mysterious strangers.
this guy.
This sock guy.
All right. So you return to your table and you ask Gabriel.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I don't know. It's something came over me.
Gabriel,
Wait, really?
I swear, if I have to come in between you again, I will put a bullet in your knee.
We've already.
Bo, you are being somewhat dramatic now.
I'm being dramatic.
Look, I lost control for a short amount of time. All right, I don't know what happened.
Gabriel, you don't lose control.
And Gabriel, the further away you get from this, the less of a big deal it feels like. It just feels like a slight transgression. You messed up a little. It doesn't seem like a huge thing.
The man was eyeing me the entire time. My blood was up.
Well, what did he say to you?
I don't know. He said he didn't believe in God, and I decided to pick a fight.
Neither do you.
You punched a guy because he didn't believe in God.
All right. Look, I was looking for any excuse to. I don't know. It's been tough recently. All right. Sometimes it's nice to let things out.
I'm not on some random person.
We have enough to take care of.
All right. Okay. Look, you can go and let off steam by killing gangsters. And you start fights in the middle of town and get into your little underground fight rings. And
Quick
I
question.
can let off some steam sometime, all right?
Quick question. Is this conversation being had at the volume that it sounds like it's
No.
being had at? Okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
This is just.
Just want to make sure.
Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah, I talk loud.
Yes. But Gabriel
No, I'm
is
not.
being.
But I imagine it's kind of like, what?
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Just wanted to check.
But this is not like you. The point is, it's not like you.
No, all right, look. It's not that big a deal, all right? The man is fine. We made it out okay.
All right, but you can't brush this off like it's not a big deal. It is a big
Not
deal.
a big deal.
Yes, it is.
I
It's
was
unusual.
I was there the last time this happened, right?
I think we all
We were all there.
Yeah.
Right?
This is before that, yeah.
This is the second time this has happened, preacher.
Well, at least I'm not strangling anybody to death.
That is low.
Wow.
pain.
Well, I'm low sometimes, Rose.
Yeah, Howell's
Well,
gonna.
I know that,
Howell's
but-
gonna get up. and leave.
But that was...
Well, as you get up to leave, you hear Seymour. That was mine. That was mine. Listen, Joella. All right, if you're gonna be like this, I'll just take it. I'll just take it back to the room. Ain't no reason for me to sit here with you and be ridiculed and mocked. And you see that couple or brother and sister or whatever they are. You see the man just roughly take both trays of food and just storm off back towards the passenger trains, leaving the young woman very confused and seeming near tears. And she looks around embarrassed and then sort of tightens her shawl and leans up against the window and stares outside. And meanwhile, everyone else in the passenger car is getting real uncomfortable with all of these emotional outbursts that are happening, and just are kind of slumping down in their seats and staring out the window as well.
I think I'm walking past that, you said?
Well, as you get up, that happens, and that's happening behind you guys.
Okay. I'll walk towards that direction and sort of stop at her table and just kind of like... Hold for wait. And I just walk past her.
She looks at you as you walk past and
No, I'll stop there.
just says, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
No, it's embarrassing and indecorous, and I'm sorry. It seems you have your own problems.
Yeah, I got a preacher who likes to throw punches of all sorts.
Well, people have all been acting strange of late, so I suppose that's to be expected.
You want me to get you some food to eat? Because it seems like your lunch ran off there.
Oh, that's just my brother. You know, sometimes siblings have disagreements.
I mean, that seems more than a disagreement to me.
I appreciate your concern, but I'm fine. It's just he's been under a lot of pressure. We both have, just stress.
Why don't I go have a talk with him?
Oh no.
I'm not gonna hurt him. I just want to
No,
make sure.
I don't think you should.
Bring him a nice drink. We could have a one-on-one.
I think it's best, it seems, of late to just leave him alone when he gets like this. He hasn't been himself lately, and I fear that the intervention of a stranger, no matter how kindly intentioned, might just set him off.
All right.
But thank you, Mr.
Mr. Mel. Howell Mel.
Joelle Bostock.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. And she kind of, like she catches a
Yeah,
whiff of something unpleasant.
Yeah, this car, something smells funny in this
You know,
car.
these old Lone Star trains, I think they get some mold that they can't quite seem to get the smell out of.
Yeah, real moldy. I'm gonna go get some dinner, lunch.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Mel.
It's nice to meet you too. I'll walk off to another car.
All right, so you're walking back to the dining car, or I'm sorry, to the passenger cars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
I mean, I imagine I don't know that there's much more to talk about in this issue.
It seemed like maybe both had something you wanted to say.
I said what I said. I'm gonna go talk to Howell. Why don't you think about what you said?
I always think about what I say.
Well, maybe think about it before you say it. And then I get up.
You really has a point. You don't have to be so prickly, you know how.
Look, it's just a train fight, okay?
It is not. That is not a normal.
It's like a bar fight on a train.
Gabriel,
Forget about it, Jake. It's a train fight.
if you think you can pass that off with James or how, that's fine, but you can't with me.
Rose, I've got to let off some steam sometimes too, all right?
This is bullshit. Why are you feeding me this shit? What are you not telling me?
I've been feeling strange sometimes.
religious fervor has come to a great about.
Since when?
Don't know, just since we came to this town.
Are you doing what you're doing with your right hand as Gabriel?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I've been clutching the cross the entire time.
Okay.
Why are you holding that thing?
No, it's confident. It's been helpful. Every time we've come into some sort of conflict, it's brought a certain vigor into my.
What the hell is wrong?
Rose, that's mine. Look, I don't know what it is, but it's been helping me. All right?
Has it been helping you?
Yes, it has.
Just like Life Drinker helps Jesus.
Life Drinker has helped all of us.
I know, but it's also hurt him.
Well, then I think it's worth it.
I don't know. This is not like you. It was one thing to get all these new abilities that you have, but this is something else.
If I can, it'll be okay, all right? Look, maybe sometimes I get a little irrationally angry at people. But we can handle that. We can talk our way out of it.
Can we? It was quite hard to talk you out of that last little bit there.
I snapped out of it, didn't I?
After you punched that man in the face?
Well, he had it coming.
Did he?
He was eyeing me the entire time we were sitting there.
And that's enough to punch someone in the face
It's
for?
almost enough.
Almost isn't good enough. When our lives are on the line, you don't know who that man could have been or who he is. It could have caused a much larger problem for you or for all of us.
Well, it didn't.
Yeah, but next time it could.
And Rose, as you're gesturing over to that man, you notice that man is gone. He's not there in the seat anymore.
We will handle next time when next time comes. Rose, you know that there are prices to all of these things that we do.
I know, but we don't have to pay every single one of them. We might as well try to escape with our souls as much as we can, if it's even possible.
Well, we need every advantage we can get.
If that advantage means that I lose you, then I don't give a shit about it. I don't want it.
I'm not gonna lose me,
I
Rose.
don't know that.
I do know that.
You don't know. We don't know any of that.
Rose, that is the only thing I know in the core of my being. There's nothing to make you lose me.
And as Rosaline turns to look out the window herself, this argument seeming to be going nowhere right now, we head over to James Bogue, heading back to the passenger car that the four of you share. Finding Howell Melton sitting in there, I assume.
Howell. I don't know what's up with the preacher, but you should not have said that. Yeah. Oh, he did. I'm sure you were all thinking it anyways, so whatever. Say it. You know, Rose touched on this back in despair, but we've all made deals with things that are out of our control. Rose has her Joker friend. Gabriel has some higher power. I have Life Drinker. All of these things hurt us in some way or another, but they are also a tool. And however they manifest, well, they're manifesting in us for a reason. You got the choice to use that tool. I don't know if I do. Sometimes I don't know if I have the choice. Doesn't that scare you? Sure. Yeah, it scares me. There's no reason it shouldn't. Anytime you're given the option to take a man's life, well, you should never want to have to do it. But unfortunately, in these times, and what we're up against, it's just collateral damage.
Alright, I'm done moping. I'm fine. I'm alright. Let's get back to before Preacher punches somebody.
That slender man is standing outside the door. Sorry, I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Can I help you, friend?
Kind of rubs the spot on his face that's red and swelling a bit where Gabriel punched him. Well, that depends. See, your friend back there, he seems a little bit on the edge. Perhaps that's putting it mildly. J. Womack 94, thank you for the bits.
Thank you.
You like that a lot?
Comes and goes, I don't know.
Tell me, how much you know about your friend there, Mr. Pryor?
Who's asking?
Oh, sorry. That plumb forgot me, and all the hubbub. I introduced myself to him, and introduced myself to you folks. Fisher Hendricks. Pleasure to meet you.
James Bowe.
James Bowe. Nice to meet you, Mr. Bowe. Firm handshake, and you.
Howell Mountain.
How that? Whoa. Easy there, big guy. Yeah, you can call me Fisher.
All
Ain't no
right.
need to stand on formality.
Will Fisher. I've known Mr. Pryor for several years now. I've ridden with him for a while.
It's funny though, you know. How well can you ever really know someone, even after spending a goodly amount of time with them?
What are you getting at?
Well, I could be mistaken, but that ain't often the case. I believe your friend that you know as Mr. Pryor is in fact one Edmund Fletcher. Wanted for several crimes by the Confederate States of America.
Oh.
Bless you, man.
Edmund who?
Fletcher. Make a persuade roll for me, James. Oh, a 2 and a 1, and that's untrained for you, right?
Oh
Yeah.
no!
So that's an effective 0.
Wow.
Re-rolling with cursed Spanish gold. Oh, my tile grows.
Oh my goodness.
It's an ace.
An ace on a D4.
Ace.
Get it. Not the one.
5
no, that's
minus
what we
2 is a
didn't
3.
need.
Oh,
You gonna stick with it?
Gonna add a D6.
You're gonna add a D6, spending a blue fate chip to add a D6 to that, alright?
Good call. I like it.
Okay, 6. So
6.
yeah.
Okay. That's a 6.
Oh.
Fletcher. Edmund Fletcher. You didn't know he had another name?
Well, like I said, we've been riding together for several years.
And like I said, it's funny how little you can learn about someone even after you spend a goodly amount of time with them.
I'm sorry, Fisher. What are you getting at here? Are you just dropping names?
Am I a duly sworn officer of the peace? And he kind of pulls his jacket aside and reveals a... Now, this is a badge that you would recognize, an insignia you would recognize. He's not law enforcement, but he has been officially sanctioned by law enforcement to head out and collect bounties on those who have transgressed against the Confederate States of America. Yes, I am. If that was what you were going to ask, Mr. Bowe.
Well, bounty hunter, right?
I like to think of it as a cowboy of sorts. You know, these men I hunt, they ain't no better than cattle sometimes, just running around, doing damage to themselves and others.
Well, I understand your position. I've collected some bounties before in my time.
Have you?
Sure.
Well, then you understand that if find myself in a bit of a unique position here, having a conversation as I am with a fellow cowboy. When just down the hall there's a friend of his who, entirely unbeknownst to both of you, I assume, is a wanted man.
Says you. I mean,
Well, says I, and believe back in my car, I have a poster. I collect them. I could go check it and bring it back here. We could look it over together. You could tell me if you feel that Mr. Pryor does bear somewhat of a striking resemblance to this Edmund Fletcher that I've been hunting, and you can also further tell me whether or not my turning a blind eye is worth anything to you. Does that sound like a conversation we should have, Mr. Bogue, Mr. Melton?
well, you know, I say you get that poster because I'm sure you know the likenesses are often hazy.
That they are. And my eyes, I will admit, are a bit unfocused still after that clock cleaning I received. But I will retire and see if I can't sort through my effects. And I'll bring that poster back to you when it's convenient for you, of course.
We're not going anywhere.
Oh, that's good to hear. All right, well, till then, gentlemen. He turns around and walks back out.
We gotta go somewhere. Is that true? Does he have a...
Yes.
How the hell? What would...
All the goddamn fights he had. Dick.
Alright, well, we gotta go tell him. Right?
You go tell him. Alright? I'll try to stall as long as possible and meet up with you.
Alright.
Nah, it's no good. I can't stall. I am terrible at stalling.
What? I mean, I could try stalling. I could just
You're
stand...
worse than I am.
Well, I mean, I could just stay in the hallway and you can't walk past me. That's a good kind of, you know, stalling.
That's more like a wall.
Yeah.
than a stall.
Yeah, I'll wall him.
All right. All right. You stay here. Let me gather Gabe and Rose and try to figure out a solution. But
All right.
do not push back on him.
Oh, I ain't messing with the law. That's the wrong thing to do right about now.
And I like take a deep look in your eye just to see if there's can see if
Anything else looking out at you?
Yeah.
Doesn't appear to be apart from looking a little bit sickly. This is the same old Howell Melton you've known all this time.
Don't say that. All right. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm just gonna stand in the hallway and wait.
All right, so you just kind of try and position yourself in a leisurely way that blocks off most of the hallway, which isn't too hard. This hall is pretty narrow.
Yeah, that's
There's
what I
not
figured.
much space in between the passenger cars and the windows. Although every now and then the windows will rattle against you from a sudden gust of wind, and that never ceases to catch you off guard.
Yep.
And James, you are going where?
Back to the dining car.
Back to the dining car, which is cleared out almost entirely, except for a couple of folks, one or two of those rail workers that you recognize from Despair, and Rose and Gabe, who are sitting in a somewhat sullen silence, contemplating their own private thoughts.
Gabriel Pryor. Seems you have a new friend.
Oh, look, I'm sorry, all right?
You know,
I
for
shouldn't have hit
one
the man.
moment, I would like you to shut your trap and listen to me. Fisher is out for your head. He knows that you're Edmund Fletcher.
What? Bitch.
All right,
I
now,
thought we were far enough away that would be behind me.
not here. Now, Howell is stalling for time, but we do not have time or...
You didn't confirm I was who he thought he was, did you?
No. I asked him for proof.
But maybe we just need to play it off like he's wrong.
Do we know if there's anyone else on the train that's working with him?
We do not.
And I'll also say, Bogue, you got the distinct impression he didn't fully believe what it was you were telling him.
All right, look, now, if I come to him and I am not afraid of the fact that he thinks I'm this Edmund Fletcher fella, I believe we could talk him out of doing anything drastic.
Well, he was hinting towards a bribe, I believe.
It seemed that way.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was hinting. He was pretty clearly asking for
I
a
just wanted
bribe.
to remind him because,
Right.
yeah.
It's worth a shot. But I'm not sure you are in the position right now to be offering him anything.
Maybe I could. We don't know what
Maybe.
he's asking for.
Look, all I'm saying is this man has nothing but a hearsay and going on about as to who I am. We're out in the West. Hell, we are further from Virginia than I've ever been in my entire life. Now, there's always a chance there's someone else out there who looks a little bit like this Edmund fella.
That's something you've heard before when you were collecting bounties back in the day, James. That's a fairly common refrain from some of the less serious criminals that you were.
But
sent
no one's
after.
ever said it quite as persuasively as I have.
That's also entirely true.
If anyone can get themselves out of this predicament, it's probably you. However, we have to play this smart. I say we go back to the room and we wait for him to come back. As he comes back and shows us this poster that he has of supposedly your likeness as Edmund Fletcher. You could try and play it off, but I think the man wants money if he's going to leave us alone. Or maybe something else.
How much am I worth these days? It can't be too much. I haven't done anything new worth.
I think I would keep track.
Would you keep track? So you were after Edmund Fletcher way back in the day. That's how the two of you met. And at that point, Edmund's bounty was $200. Wanted largely for counterfeiting and several acts of fraud, perhaps some bribery. Largely the counterfeiting.
How far are we from Prescott? Do we know?
I mean, you've still got another day or so. This is probably a little over a day. And that's best case scenario. That's considering if the train manages to make it all the way through in one trip. Something you can't really count on nowadays.
Well, I think we need more information on this fella, because we need to know if there are more people backing him up, or if he's here on his own. Because if he is, at least we have him outnumbered while we're on this trip.
In my experience, people like that tend to work with small teams. They don't want to split money, especially on someone who's got as moderate bounty as myself.
Well, he doesn't know who he's dealing with at this point, so we at least have that on him. We don't want it to come to that. We can find another way around it, I think we should.
You can always get rid of them.
I don't think.
Are you asking me to murder someone?
I'm simply suggesting that it remains an option if things go south.
Murder's always an option,
It
Gabriel.
could simplify things. Now, don't act like you are above such measures.
I try not to murder innocent people.
Nobody's innocent, Bo.
Okay, now don't get histrionic on me. Let's go back to the room.
And also, as you're saying this, Gabe, you feel a little bit of a tightening of whatever it is that cord is that connects you to whatever it is above. You're still under probation, by the way. You're at a -2 for several days because you blasphemed, and this line of conversation is not exactly improving your.
I was never a great choice for the blessed thing.
And you know whoever's up there does not deny that.
Do we agree? We go back to the room and we
Alright.
try and have a conversation. From there,
Yeah, sure. Let's lay low.
at least let's take this out of the public's eye, as it were.
So, at this point, you guys realize you're all but alone here in the dining car. The storm clouds have gotten even heavier and the rain more oppressive, and it feels almost as dark as night, even though it's still the sun hasn't gone down.
So let's make our way back towards I imagine we have like quarters.
You do. You all have a passenger car that you share. As you guys are having that conversation, and the world outside seems to be fading away, leaving you with the distinct impression that all that exists in this world is this train and the darkened storm outside. Howell, standing in the hallway, you start to hear a bit of commotion from one of the passenger cars way down at the end of the car. It sounds like a woman's voice getting high and a bit hysteric, and then some shouting and some pounding from a deeper man's voice. And as you're standing there kind of just catching wind of this and looking out, you see one of the doors at the end of the cabin just slam open, and that man comes out. God damn it, Joella, I told you, just leave it be, all right? Now you don't understand what I'm going through, and you can't, so just lay off. And he just slams through the door, heading back further into the train, and that woman from earlier comes rushing out and says, Seymour! Seymour! And then just turns and goes back into her cabin.
I'll walk over to her cabin and just knock.
Seymour, just listen. Oh.
No, it's me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
Mr. Melton?
Yeah, that's right. Is everything all right? That seems like...
I'm so embarrassed. This is the second time you have
I mean...
walked in on a familial spell, and I apologize.
I mean, it's not like I'm the only... I'm sure many people heard you. It's not... You're being quite loud.
I do apologize. As I said, it's just a bit of a family disagreement, and we'll try and keep it quiet from now on. You can head back to your car. I assure you, this is the last that you will hear from us.
Well, no, this is actually where I gotta be for the moment, in the hallway. So I'm just having a polite conversation with you. Just tell me what's happening. Maybe maybe I can help.
Make a persuade roll for me, Hal.
Oh, no.
And don't forget to modify this by your very scary charisma score.
What's your charisma now?
-2. It's still -2.
His death wound is not visible, so still just a -2.
So this is a D4 plus a D6. -2. Hey,
Ace on the D4. 7 -2?
I did it!
That's a 5.
I did it!
You managed to be a little bit persuasive.
Best wall ever.
Maybe it's the lighting, but you actually seem kind of non-threatening
Is it
right
pitch
now.
black in the hallway?
It's not pitch black, but it's dark. Mr. Melton, you've been very kind. I don't want to saddle you with my family affairs. As I said, my brother is just under a lot of stress. We both are. And
I ain't gonna be saddled. Go on.
I might as well. I ain't had anybody to talk to but Seymour for several days now, and it does start to just drive a body insane. Please, you can come inside and have a seat. I hate to see you just standing out there in the hall. You look so uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, I don't feel right coming inside of...
It's all right. We'll keep the door open. Ain't nothing improprietous about it.
All right, if we keep the door open, that's
Listen,
fine.
Mr. Melton, I don't mean to insult you or anything, but just strictly start my time.
Oh, well, that's... What seems to be the problem?
So you go and sit
Yeah.
down in the car?
Mm-hmm.
These old trains, I keep telling Seymour we gotta spring for something nice
Yeah, just
next
gotta
time.
air them out. Oof. Let me just slide a window open for you.
It's storming something awful outside, Mr. Melton. I think it'd be best if we kept the windows
Yeah, I think you're right.
closed.
Maybe the window should stay closed.
Listen,
But the smell of rain does help.
I feel awful about this. You're in here and you clearly don't want to be. You have something you've got to be
If
doing.
I didn't want to be here, I wouldn't be here. Now, what's happening?
I don't know. It's just my brother.
Seymour.
Yes, he's been acting so strange of late.
Strange.
We've been out further west, near Lost Angels. We're working for our father, just seeing to some potential new business interests out that way, and we were just, engaged in some negotiations with that Reverend Grimm and his people that run the city. He's got a strict control over all business done anywhere near the area of that city. We had a tense negotiation with some of his guardian angels, and seemed like it was going fairly well for us. I thought Seymour was handling himself quite well. This is one of the first assignments that our fathers trusted us to take. He's grooming Seymour to take over the business for him, you know, and I'm to be his assistant because sometimes Seymour ain't exactly the calmest head, but I thought everything was going well, and they invited him out to have a celebratory meal, and you know they've got very strict rules around about that place about the intermingling of men and women for certain activities. You know, I mean, I'm a God-fearing Christian just as much as the next person is out here, but even I think they can be a bit much. But anyways, he went and sealed the business deal, as far as I know, but I don't know, he seemed distracted or distant when he came back, and he's just been so unpleasant of late, just eating all the time, upsetting amount of food, if you don't mind my saying so. His table manners have gotten just deplorable, and he was so fussy before. His temper, he always had the tendency to just fly off the handle sometimes, but this is different.
He's not hurting you, is he?
No, nothing like that.
Had to make sure.
Make a notice roll.
Okay. I got 5.
5?
Yeah.
For just a moment, when you asked if he was hurting her, you saw a flicker of fear across her face before her propriety took over. No, nothing like that.
Are you thinking he might? Is he getting that way? You tell me, he ain't done nothing yet.
It's not that. I don't know. I felt for a moment just then when we had that argument that I'm so sorry you had to hear. I thought for a moment that he might.
Yeah,
It just, looking at him, it just seemed like I was looking into the face of a stranger, and I've known him my whole life, but he's just been different. And I ain't never seen him that angry. And I did, I feel awful saying it, but I did for a moment fear for my safety.
well, that ain't right. I'm gonna go have a talk with him.
I don't think that's wise, Mr. Melton. Listen, I appreciate what it is you're doing, but I ain't seen him like this. I don't know what he'd do if some stranger to him came in and started pressuring him about personal affairs. I mean, we're a private family, and I feel like it would just make things worse.
I ain't gonna pressure him or nothing. I just want to make sure he's all right, and maybe I can share a drink with him. And don't worry about it. Just let me talk to him.
I don't think that's a good idea, Mr. Melton. Please, I think if we just give him some time to cool off, he'll come back to himself. I appreciate it. I do. Thank you very much.
I tell you what, I'm not gonna talk to him. If I hear anything like this again, I'm gonna have to step in.
That sounds reasonable.
All right.
Listen to me go on and on. I'm embarrassed, but you've been very kind. Thank you for just taking the time to listen. Like I said, it's just been me and my brother for so long out here traveling. I haven't had anyone to talk to.
Well, I'm just down the hall. If you need somebody to talk to, if you can.
Sure. I'm sorry. Do you smell that as well? It just seems
Yeah.
to be getting worse.
You know, maybe I'll talk to the conductor and see what he can do. Maybe get some.
No, maybe you're right. Maybe the window's being closed. It's just
Yeah,
making it
but,
worse.
you know, the smell of rain helps sometimes wash things away. So
Well,
why don't you?
also makes the mildew smell worse.
Yeah, that's true too. But I'll let you go. Crack that window. I'll close your door, and I'll be out in the hall.
I must admit, I do feel better knowing you're there. Thank you for being so kind to a relative stranger.
Anytime, man.
Can we head back out into the hall?
Yep.
We
Okay.
see Howell come out. We see him like that.
So this has been happening kind of simultaneously while you guys have been having your conversation. So as Howell comes out of that room, you guys walk into the train car and see him stepping out.
Howell, what are you doing in there? You know you need to keep a low profile.
Or I'm gonna strangle somebody.
Or you're going to draw attention to yourself. All right. It's fine. Howell,
Has he come through here?
No, I haven't seen him.
All right. Let's get into the room. Let's discuss what's going to happen.
Okay.
So you're going to your passenger car?
Yeah.
The door is ajar.
Move down another car. I say very quietly.
That's where all your stuff is.
It's just stuff.
That's true. It's just stuff.
If he's waiting for us. We're not getting off this train.
If you're someone rummaging through your stuff, you are not who they say you are.
Look, when I stopped being who I was, I stopped entirely. I don't carry things with me. When you take on a new life, you leave the entire old life behind. That is the mistake many people make.
I understand that. They are robbing Gabriel Pryor, not Edmund Fletcher.
Luckily, Gabriel Pryor doesn't have anything he's owned for more than a month.
I have some things in there I'd like to have.
Yeah, I like my stuff.
Well, that's a good point.
Also, we don't know if they're robbing us.
Right.
The door's just open.
I think it behooves us, the propriety of it all.
All right. You go in there.
I'll go with you.
The door's not really big enough for more than one person to walk in
Yeah,
at once.
it's all
This-
squeezing at
it's,
once.
it's pretty close
All
quarters.
right, but I'm gonna go.
Sure.
I like kind of, it's a sliding
slides.
door. Yep. So I'm going to kind of slide it a little bit, and then I'm just going to slam it open.
I go and kind of stand against the wall on the other side, so I'm not visible.
Your car is empty, but your things are all over the place. Someone has been in here recently and has strewn your things everywhere.
When could they have done this?
Well, I mean, I was watching the hall, but I was in that car for like 5 minutes. I don't know. Like, I guess he could have gotten past me, but I mean, I would have hurt maybe.
Right, for 5 minutes.
Maybe this man does have associates with him.
Someone with abilities.
That's what I wondered, yeah.
Is there anything missing?
Everyone make a notice roll.
7.
7?
I say, oh,
2?
that's still a 9.
You know what? I'll re-roll.
You're gonna use a piece of table curse banished gold. All right,
No.
re-roll it. 4. So 7, 4. What?
7?
A 7?
9.
Not. And why is it funny?
We both aced, and then our next roll was a 1.
Oh, nice. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Gabriel, although a bit in disarray, all of your stuff seems to be here. This
Right.
isn't all of your luggage. You do have like a trunk or two that have been
In
loaded up.
wherever the-
Exactly. Rose, all of your stuff also seems to be present and accounted for. Although, again, a bit strewn all over the place. Howell, you find all of your things as well.
Okay.
James,
Uh-oh.
you seem to be missing something.
Your eye.
Your
Oh my god!
your tobacco pouch is missing.
What? Did you find something that's missing?
Took my tobacco.
What?
Seems like some smoker needs to get his fixed. That's not too bad.
Hal, your tobacco pouch is still present among your things.
Yeah, mine's still here.
Why would someone go through all of this for just that? Especially if yours is still here.
Hell, maybe the man just wanted to smoke.
I have to get away from you.
What?
I have to move away. They have something of mine. If they have abilities like you have abilities, they can get into my mind.
Right, yes.
That's very
Well,
specific.
If they went through our stuff, then we can get into their mind as well.
Well,
Good try.
If he's like me, he's going to do exactly what I would do. Use whoever has abilities to get some information and the drop on whoever he's trying to get into. You would probably know if they got into your mind.
Well, then flip that patch over to the other eye and we'll give them as little as we can.
well, then you can't see them.
Well, that's the idea.
As you guys are talking about this, there is a screeching of the brakes, and the train starts to pitch a little bit as you feel it slow down.
Son of a...
And it slowly comes to a stop.
Looking out the window, are we near anything?
You're not. You can't really see much of anything outside the window. The rain is coming down in sheets and the wind is just blowing it against the windows in waves. You can't see much out there except for darkness and this wall of water. And you hear from several cars ahead, you hear what sounds like one of the rail workers walking down and shouting out an announcement of some kind. They're getting closer. Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize. There's been a change in the schedule. We've had to divert off of the rail while we wait for another cargo train to come by. We have not been told exactly when the train is going to come by. We just know it represents a hazard for us. So please remain in your cabins. The dining car is still open. We will resume travel as soon as we get the all clear from the booth up ahead.
Do we know how long this is going to delay us in our travel?
Unfortunately, sir, we don't. As I said, we'll try and get everything moving as soon as we can, but for the time being, just relax. Everything is fine. We're just going to have to be a little bit behind. It could be soon. And he kind of looks around. He seems overtired. It could be several hours. It could be all night. I don't honestly know. The schedules have been all sorts of chaotic of late. I'm sure you've heard. We do apologize. Please let us know if there's anything we can do to make your time while we delay more comfortable. But if you'll excuse me, I have to keep letting everyone know.
That can't be a coincidence, can it?
I highly doubt it.
That's a lot of folks working together somehow. Either there isn't really a train coming and somebody who would work in this train is working with whoever we're dealing with, or it's a bigger issue. Or it has nothing to do with us.
Well, either way, that's one extra night we're going to have to spend with this man.
Well, I might as well try and see if I can find anything.
So I'm gonna take something of Jade. Because that's what I took and see if I can find it right now. How many power points would I have back now?
Let's see. It's been several hours, and you get one every 3 hours. So, well, we'll say it's been about 15 hours, so you can get 5 points back.
Okay.
And now that you guys are stopped, and the train is no longer in motion, with the oppressive feeling from outside, the train does start to feel just a bit small and confined.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. So Hal, you're feeling a bit locked. It's one thing to be in a small space that's going somewhere, but it's another thing to be in a small space that just is going nowhere.
How? You already did. What could hurt you?
Oh, come on, James.
I'll use points.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna, like, whatever would be, like, if there's any, like, pipe or anything else that's kind of close.
I imagine he keeps his pipe on his person.
Whatever else of his that seems that it has been thrown.
His backpack?
Sure, that just seems to be out of place.
Okay.
Yeah. That's an ace.
An ace.
On a D10.
13.
13. So you spend your points,
Yay.
and your cards fan out in your hand, and you send your consciousness into them while you hold the edge of James Bogue's backpack.
Hell, be on the watch.
This is an opposed roll.
It's opposed?
In case anyone's
Yeah,
coming by.
versus the spirit.
All right.
If they win, they know that they target.
Sure. So you feel your consciousness kind of go into the cards as your eyes roll back in your head, but no sooner does that happen than you feel just kind of like a sharp stab of pain in your head that sends you rocketing right back into your own brain.
What happened?
I don't know. I thought I was going somewhere and then it just hurt and I came back here. I didn't see anything.
This is something you haven't experienced before. This
Haven't?
doesn't, yeah, you have not. This doesn't feel like when you tried to mind ride someone who was dead and you just
Right.
couldn't gain access. This almost feels like you were forcibly pushed back into your head.
It almost felt like someone stopped me somehow.
Bound to run into someone who knew how to resist such things at some point.
I suppose.
I think that lends credence to James's theory that they might be using such techniques against us.
I'm feeling a little cooped up here, so I'm gonna step outside.
Don't go far.
Step outside?
Yeah.
The
just
train?
get a little- I mean, a little rain never hurt nobody.
There's a torrential downpour out there.
I'll be quick. Maybe I gotta take a leak and I like going outside, alright? It's just, I'm
You
getting...
still do that?
Yeah. Well, I think... I don't know.
You actually, it hasn't been very long, but you haven't really felt the need, nor, now that Gabriel says it, have you really felt much thirst at all. You can't actually remember when you last had something to drink. It doesn't feel dry, you just haven't felt thirsty.
I'll be right back. I'll be back. I'm just gonna take a walk. I'm also gonna actually go to the bathroom.
Whoa, meta!
Wait,
So
but
Howell steps out into the rain and the cold and feels neither.
could you not go to the bathroom? For reals?
He's going to the bathroom.
No.
So what are you guys gonna do?
I don't know what to do here. I suppose we could. I mean, this man's supposed to be coming back, right?
Supposedly. But if they can do what you can do.
Excuse me. I'm sorry to interrupt. I
We
was.
help you, man.
Yes, I was in my cabin when the employee came by and said what was going on. Do you know why we're stopped?
No, apparently there's a cargo train coming by and they've pulled us off to the side so there's no collision.
Oh, that's, did they say how long it is we were going to be delayed?
Unclear.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'll leave you folks to your
No, of course.
conversation.
No trouble.
She comes back up.
All right. We should make our way. Train coming by, train car. Maybe there'll be some sign of someone who's made their way in, or they'll recognize us. Worst case scenario, at least we won't be where that man expects us to be.
Don't know if that's better or worse. Maybe we should be where he expects us to be.
I don't rightly like just sitting in one place and waiting.
I'm sorry, Rosaline.
What?
You get those points that you spent back because
I
I
do?
forgot. The next power that is used costs no power points.
Yay!
As per the pull from the mystery box. So that was just a free mind ride there.
Like in the box.
Courtesy of the mysterious strangers in chat and the vicissitudes of fate.
That's awesome.
You did that. That was a weird.
Thanks, Fate.
That was a weird PI.
Thanks, you vicissitudinous folks. All right, so you guys, what's the plan?
Well, I gotta go take a howl.
Well, that's not what we're calling it because I didn't actually. Alright.
Gross.
I don't know. I'm afraid if we're not here, or someone's not here, if this man does in fact come back, that we're just aiding to the suspicion. But I also agree that it might benefit us to get a better picture of who's on this tree.
Honestly, I could be a liability here. If I'm going with you, car by car, they'll know if they, I don't know, maybe I'm being crazy, paranoid here, but
Who knows? It's possible. Why else would they take that?
I mentioned to him that I was also a bounty hunter. They may be trying to get some information on me somehow.
I'm just gonna go check on my friend down.
So you're soaking wet now
Yeah.
and should be freezing, but you feel neither.
I'm gonna check on your friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe change your clothes or something. What? How are you not?
No, it's pretty cold.
He's lying.
But yeah, you were making a puddle on the floor, man.
Alright, well, I just, I got claustrophobic, so I just need to get outside a little bit, and maybe don't mention that I don't feel anything in my body anymore, because that weirds me out.
Well, just maybe before you talk to other people, maybe change your clothes so it doesn't look so weird. That
Yeah.
You're soaking wet and you don't have any fit.
Alright, I'm gonna go change my clothes.
In the passenger car, all right?
Not in this passenger.
This is the passenger car that your clothes are in.
Could y'all leave? I mean, for like 30 seconds or something. I just need to...
Fine, Howell.
All right.
All right, so you guys step out while Howell has some time to himself to change clothes. And you both, from the open door leading into the car that is next to yours and separates your car from the passenger car, you hear a distant strain of some male laughter. Sounds like some people talking in a car not too far away. And you hear just a snatch of something that sounds like, well, that ain't nothing, you want something weird. I'll tell you what I heard about that fella done run that one rail line, you know the one from New Orleans, Bayou Vermilion.
What is with this train? Maybe we should go and see who's talking.
Oh, everybody got stories about him. Yeah, these ain't stories, these are things I heard on good authority.
Where am I right now?
You're standing with them. Okay. Howell's changing, so he kicked you out.
Right.
It's very fun.
All right.
This all seems quite coincidental.
Does it? Or does it seem like the mysterious strangers in chat just unlocked something called History of a Title?
Oh!
Oh.
Hold on, I want to hear what this man has to say.
Very clearly.
Do you want to walk a little bit closer over to it?
Yeah.
I'll walk back a little bit, probably don't change it.
All right, they're all gone.
What the?
You see them kind of walking into the next car.
Alright.
You're like, let's all keep an eye on Hal.
Several times let him be alone.
He smells bad.
And as you walk into the next car, you see a few men just kind of standing out in the hallway, and they're leaning into the open door. And inside, there's a couple other men. There's smoke pouring out, and they seem to be passing a flask and smoking their cigarettes and their cigars and their pipes and just shooting the shit, as it were. And one of them is a white mustached gentleman in the corner with a cigarette drooping out of his mouth. No. You think you got stories? I got stories. Listen, what I done heard about him will curdle your blood. Oh, greetings.
Well, I hope you don't mind if we join you.
Oh, not at all. Didn't mind when any of these sons of bitches came over and joined. Hey, what else we gonna do while we wait for this train to get started again but pass the time swapping tail?
I can't say that sounds like a bad proposition to me.
Although I will caution you, man, we've been telling all sorts of dark and twisted and macabre recollections and rumors that we heard from our travels. So if your sensibilities are delicate, you might think about going elsewhere.
Well, you hear that, Rose? You think your sensibilities are too delicate?
Oh, I don't know. I like a good scary story every now and then myself.
Well, Frederick here was just telling us a tale he done heard about some mysterious black hooded figures that follow you out when you're traveling the trail and decide you done transgressed against some sort of law that only they're privy to, then hunt you down, whether you're alone or traveling with folks, and wait for just the right opportunity to whisper your crime in your ear before they fasten a noose round your neck and string you up for a hanging, playing judge, jury, and executioner all in one, while you're out alone where no one can hear you scream.
Sounds like plain old frontier justice to me.
Yes, it does.
Sounds like a load of bullshit to me is what I said, Frederick, and a bunch of the men laughing there.
That's not real, yeah. That doesn't happen.
No, but as I was saying before you folks came over, Frederick challenged me. He said, oh, well, what were your words, Frederick? If you heard something better, go ahead and let it loose. Well, I got a little something for you gentlemen, and miss, once again, I'll caution you. Ain't exactly for gentle dispositions to hear.
I don't know how gentle I am.
All right. Well, it's your decision. No, I was just letting these gents know. You know that one of them rail barons, the one who runs Bayou Vermilion out of New Orleans? The one no one knows anything about. See, the rest of them barons, They're public figures. Their words, their deeds are known, but this fella likes to be secretive. Keeps himself tucked away. Don't let himself be seen or his words be known, his deeds be known, and you know, people like that, stories start to swirl. Folks start to imagine they've seen and heard all manner of things, but could be some of those things ain't exactly lies. You know what I mean?
What's hurt?
Well, miss, familiar with the city of New Orleans?
I've heard of it.
You know, they got a new kind of religion in operation down there that they brought over from them islands generations back. They call it hoodoo or voodoo or something of the like. Familiar?
Heard maybe a whisper of it.
See, rumor is the way it works is these voodoo or hoodoo priests, they commune with these spirits and they let them inhabit their bodies so that they can perform all manner of vile and unholy acts, the likes of which good God-fearing folks like all of us present ain't fit to see. Oh yeah, well, that's what you say, Glenn, but you've been talking a big game this whole time and I ain't heard word one about what's going on with this fella. Well, I'm getting to it, Angus, ain't I? You know me, I take my time getting to where it is I need to go. I ain't in no rush. You folks in any kind of rush?
I don't think we're going nowhere.
Doesn't seem to be that way, gentlemen. No. You heard of this man?
I mean, we have heard of the rail barons, and every railroad has one.
Everyone has, but the thing is, everyone can name the rail barons the other rails. This one, what do you know him as? You know his name at all? Or do you know him just as the Baron?
I think I've heard the Baron banded about a few times in my day.
I bet you have, but not many folks know. This Baron got himself a full name.
What name is that?
And he looks around at everyone like he's got a secret. He's the cat that caught the canary here. Baron Simone LaCroix.
Well, that's
You believe that?
a French-sounding name if I've ever heard one.
Pretty French sounding. Now, you know many French people, mister?
I believe I met a couple, but mostly through rumors and secondhand.
You ever met a French man named Simone?
Not that familiar with their name and convention.
Well, I'll let you in on it, as I had a paramour back in the day who was of the French persuasion. And let me tell you, that was a fine lady. Never met her either. But, as I understand it, Simone, it was a woman's name. Now, don't it strike you as strange? Such a powerful figure, living as he does, controlling things as he does. Why is it he's got a woman's name?
If that's a rumor you're gonna sling out to us, then I have to admit I'm a little disappointed.
Well, that ain't the rumor, mister. The rumor is, and again, he looks around knowing he is holding the assembled men in the palm of his hand. The rumor is why it is he's got that name.
Why is it?
See, this is what I done heard. This Baron didn't always used to be the big shot that he is nowadays. No. He had an older sister. An older sister who was the real power there. Now she, if it is to be believed, was the one that could commune with these spirits and create powerful dark magic at will. And this young Baron here, now, no one knows what his name was before that, and he definitely wasn't no Baron at the time. A little more than a sidekick. But another rumor is he's got a powerful hatred of the female persuasion. And one day he just couldn't stand the humiliation no longer. So he grabs up one of them hoodoo ceremonial daggers when his sister's in the middle of one of her trances. stabs her right in the heart. And as he watches the light leave her eyes, as the blood runs down from her chest, he takes from her her power. And he takes from her her name. And he gives himself the title of Baron. At least that's the story the way I heard it.
Where did you hear that story?
Oh, you know, here and there. I spent a little time around Louisiana way.
Who would be talking about this story down in Louisiana?
Now, Louisiana's a strange place, New Orleans especially. All kinds of people heard all kinds of things in all kinds of ways down there. If you ever get a chance, that city, I recommend it. They know how to have a good time.
Well, maybe we should spend some time there when we get a chance for a vacation.
But see, the thing is, he keeps his name a secret. There's power in the name, and there's power in what he done. Some say, now that he's taken her power in the way he has, there ain't a thing on this earth that can make him leave it, unless he wants to. But others say, maybe that ain't necessarily the case. Others say that maybe there's something in the creation of this barrier that could lead to the destruction of man. But also, some people say that they done seen men from the moon walking around the desert at night. And we all know that anytime anybody says something like that, they've been spending a little bit too much time in their cups. Ain't that right, Angus? Oh, Glenn, you always do pick on me. You know I like a drink, but that don't mean you gotta bring it up all the time. I'm just funning with you, Angus. I'm just funning. He's a drunk. Anyways, that's my tale. What do you say, Frederick? Does that sound a bit more, gruesome and fearsome than your mysterious hooded judges that wander around passing arbitrary judgment? The men all laugh and give Frederick some playful punches and pass their flask, and the conversation kind of continues to whirl around as they swap stories. And eventually, you find some time to make your exit. Thank you very much, mysterious strangers in chat, for unlocking the history of a title.
That's cool.
Thank you.
If that's even the truth.
What? It has to be how? Legally.
Yeah, I think that's a true story.
You know how these things get bandied about. What's truth and what's not.
I don't know anymore.
I mean,
I don't think that we have the luxury to spend too much time thinking on it.
all things considered, if we told somebody our story, would they believe us?
I don't rather reckon.
I don't have time for this. We have more pressing matters right now.
We do. Still haven't seen that man come back.
Or found out who broke into our quarters.
Not entirely sure how we can do that. I can't get a read from here, which I don't fully understand how that happened.
Well, I say we make our way through the cows like we've somewhat already started. Maybe you'll notice someone who has some of an air about her. People with talents like yours tend to draw some of a bit of attention to themselves.
Sometimes.
All right, so is that the plan? You guys are gonna walk through the car and just kind of keep a lookout for any suspicious characters?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Can I knock on that woman's door and just check on her real quick? What's
Yeah.
her name again?
Her name was Joella.
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 Yeah, I just wanted to, while we're passing by, just knock on it. You all right?
So you knock on the door, and there is no response from inside.
Joella, you still in there? Is it locked?
You're gonna try the door?
Yeah, just a little bit, not opening all the way, just to
So
see.
you just kind of pull it just a little bit to see if it slides. It doesn't appear to be locked.
I'll just slide it open an inch and just say, Joella, I don't want to open the door without permission, but I just wanted to make sure the train stopped all of a sudden, see if you're all right.
Nothing but the howl of the wind and the rain outside. At this point, the sun has gone down and the darkness has gotten even more complete from outside.
Rose, can you do me a favor? I'm gonna open this door. Could you look inside?
All right.
In case she's like indecent or something, I don't wanna...
Sure.
So you pull the door open and Rose, you kind of peer inside. The cabin is dark and empty. There's no one in here and nothing looks out of place.
Don't see anybody.
Alright, maybe she just got up and went around, so we'll find her.
Do we think that person who took our stuff might be in this cabin?
Oh, no, nothing like that. She was having some trouble with her brother being upset and angry, and I just wanted to check in and make sure she was alright.
Howell, I know that you're a good man and you want to help people, but you got to be careful about drawing attention to yourself.
Yeah.
You smell like you've been lying in the road for a couple of days.
Because I kind of was.
All I'm saying is that if you start making too much of an acquaintance with anyone on this train, they might start putting the pattern together.
Because if I don't do things like this, I'm not going to feel human anymore. I'm just going to feel like a walking sack of meat.
This is a hard time. So let's just take it one step at a time, and let's start with trying to find this person and keeping you from being hauled off to jail.
Yeah, alright. Well, keep it on.
Okay, so you guys are gonna walk down past your car into the next passenger car?
Yep.
Okay, so you pull the door open and it is indeed getting very dark outside. Every now and then there is a lit oil lamp on the wall here in the train, but they're not all lit, so they kind of afford just dim light that flickers in the shadows as you walk down. And a couple of people's doors are cracked open and you hear the sound of whispered, muted conversation from inside, but the impressiveness of the storm and the sheer volume of it seems to have just kind of driven people into a sort of quiet, hushed intensity. Some of the doors are closed, but you don't see anything overt without knocking on doors and opening them that stands out as unusual in any way in this car.
Maybe we should try the dining car. See who's out and about.
Might as
Time
well.
of day is it?
It's evening at this point. The
dinner time?
sun's gone down. It was kind of like an early dinner time. So dinner time is earlier in this time period because once the sun goes down, that's pretty much the end of the day.
Sure.
Bogue, any sign of our bounty hunter acquaintance?
I don't see him. If we go to the dining car,
You're going up to the dining car?
Yeah, let's make our way
Okay,
back.
so you make your way back up there. You pass by the open door of the men swapping tails, but even they're starting to disperse and they've gotten a bit quieter and muted. They kind of nod their acquaintance as you walk by and you head past them into the dining car. There's a couple of people in here again. Some of them are people you recognize from the town of Despair, just as faces that you've seen before. But there doesn't appear to be many people here at all. Just a couple of people again having hushed conversations or maybe a hot drink.
Did they clear his table?
They've all been cleared. Just quiet except for the sound of the storm outside.
Should report this robbery to the conductor or something? I don't know.
I don't think we should draw any more attention to us than we have to.
Right.
Not sure.
Just a pouch of tobacco. It's gonna seem strange if we report it.
Right. Not really sure what else we should do here. It seems strange that this man came to you with this information and then did not come back.
Which way did he go when he left?
Out the car,
Towards the back of the train.
towards the back of the train.
So why don't we head this off? Head in his direction.
So this train's a fair bit longer than some of the other smaller, personal, upgraded trains you guys have been on. This is an actual, full-on, normal train. No,
Which we have.
Exploded.
no, yeah, it hasn't blown up yet. There's no cars that seem to be hiding any vampire coffins. There's no cars that are the personal quarters of Baron Simone LaCroix. Nothing like that.
There's no giant guy wearing bear pelts at the front.
No giant guy wearing bear pelts or a car that's just a bunch of chained up, robed, hooded figures standing, staring at the wall. Nothing like that. Just a normal, nice train.
Why would those things be in train?
That wouldn't, they wouldn't.
Did they gotta travel too?
That seems unlikely.
They had just, bad tickets.
So there's a fair amount of passenger cars. There's probably about, let's see, there's about 5 altogether. So There's one in between you guys in the dining car. There's the one you're in. There's the one you guys searched. And then there's, that more? There's one or two more past that.
Yes.
I don't have time for this. And in the back of the train, there's cargo. In the front, there's the steam engine.
So the guy who talked to Bo went further back in the train, right?
Yes, when he left the room, he went to the right, further back to the train.
So did he go past our room?
That he doesn't know. That's just the direction he went. He didn't go back towards the dining car. He went back towards the back of the train.
Sure, but like that would be the direction that you were heading to our room.
Yes. So they were in the room when he talked to them, and then he left your cabin and went further back in the train.
Oh, you guys talked in our cabin. Okay, got it.
You know it's the guy that you punched, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just like, you
make that clear enough.
You referred to him as the guy that we talked to, and I'm like, well, you kind of had the bigger interaction with him. But yeah, it's the guy we talked to.
I don't know, he was just a guy when I punched him.
Yeah.
You talked to him, he was a bounty hunter.
We should also probably check on the horses. They probably got a little spooked from the storm going on too, right?
That's probably fine.
Well, I mean, if he went back there, he was looking for your stuff. Just putting it out there.
That's assuming it's that man at all who went through your stuff.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
Perhaps
Could be
it's
someone else.
Perhaps it's more related to that venomous sting that the mysterious strangers in chat unlocked earlier.
we don't remember that stuff.
We might not know that for a while.
Oh, snakes love tobacco. Oh, of course. It's a bunch of snakes that love to smoke
A lot
tobacco.
of things have a venomous sting.
But snakes.
Yeah, but scorpions too.
But like.
And hornets.
Oh, scorpion. Okay, yeah, you figure it out.
And
Don't figure it out. Give him the prize. He solved your puzzle.
What do I get?
cops.
What?
A bow tie!
No. All right. So what are you doing? Are you going further back in the train? What are you going for?
I think we gotta keep making our way back.
Okay. So you make it past your car. You make it past the car that you've already walked through. And can I get a notice roll from all of it?
Okie dokie.
No twice. I got a 4.
I also got a 4.
I also got a 4.
What?
I got a 3.
Wow.
I got a rock.
Cool.
As the wind howls and screams outside, and the thunder crashes, and just a slight bit of silence, you hear more than the wind screaming outside. You think you hear, from further back in the train, just the briefest bit of a woman screaming.
I don't hear that.
Where did that come from?
Where what come from?
I guess someone screamed. Maybe.
It might have been the wind.
It's hard to tell.
Coming from this way though, right?
Further back in the train.
Let's check it out, I suppose.
Let's keep going. We were going that way anyway.
We were.
So you go to the next car, and immediately you can tell something's wrong here. There are no lanterns lit in this car, and the wind and the rain is howling into the car because one of the windows has been smashed open, and water and is just being blown in from the outside. And it's rattling the doors
I'll
that
take
are
out
all
my
standing
cross.
ajar here.
And hold it so that we have some light.
Okay, so you feel the cross kind of thrumming in your coat, and you pull it out, it starts to glow softly, illuminating what looks like a hand just kind of laying out of the gap in one of these passenger cars.
I take out this gun,
Your normal gun?
my peacemaker.
You sure?
Do you?
Okay.
I also put my other hand on my other gun.
Okay.
I've got Scarlet.
Okay.
I mean, I'll put on my claw. I don't know why we need it. So someone's hurt.
Now
Yeah,
the hand
but
is
Who hurt them?
The hand is motionless.
And they're on the floor? Or we just see
You
the-
just see a hand sticking out of.
I want to step forward and push the door open and see what's going on.
So, as you do that, you see there is a man, it looks like, on the ground in this passenger car. And his body is facing the ground, but his head, while it should be facing the ground as well, has been twisted around so that it is looking up at the ceiling. Can I get a guts roll from you, Gabe?
Yeah.
At a -4.
Okay.
Things
so
are
that's a
feeling
+1.
pretty impressive on this train. Yes, at a +1 altogether because you guys are legendary.
Okay, I got a 5.
5. All right, so you kind of stagger back, but you You've seen stranger things in cold water when chaos posts corpses for you, but this is still not what you expected to see on this train.
Is it?
There's a man here who's been killed in a rather gruesome way. His head's been turned around. Brace yourself.
It's not that I think you did it.
What?
But you've been with us the whole time, right? Everyone has had an eye on you.
You did step outside for a moment.
I don't know. I don't remember blacking out.
There is
I don't-
again a scream from the back of the train, but this time it is very clearly a woman's scream, and it's coming from further back in the train.
Does anyone recognize this man?
I don't know, but
All right.
that sounds like Joella.
It does sound like Joel.
So I'm going. I'm gone.
All right, let's go.
All right, so you guys go charging down through this train, and you pull the door aside. This is another passenger car, the final one, also completely dark. No window smashed open, but
As we go,
Yes.
I am switching guns out though. Once I've seen that this man's head has been spun around,
Okay.
then I realize that we're up against.
Oh, it's that kind of gun.
Now you've decided someone's dying.
No, it's.
Well,
if
I
it
mean,
was just
if
a.
you pull life trigger, you've decided someone's dying.
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah.
so you open the door into this car, and you don't see anything, but you do see more of the doors of these passenger cars look like they've been forcibly wrenched apart. You see splintered wood, and just looking quickly into each of those cars, you see motionless people lying in various different states of death. Bless you.
Oh, hell.
And
All of them seem pretty dead,
they
right?
seem really dead. All of them have been broken or twisted in some way. And again, you hear another piercing scream from back one car further on, and you hear her clearly this time, Seymour, no!
So let's keep going.
I'm gonna run. Yeah, run as fast as I can.
All right, so you guys run through and burst through the last passenger car, jumping through the clearly exposed part where the rain is sheeting down into the cargo train. And as you fly through the door, you're suddenly in complete darkness. Thanks to the cross, it does illuminate, but it takes you a moment to go for your eyes to adjust. And what you see is Joella on the ground, not too far from where you are, and she whips her head around and just stares at you with her hands up on her face in horror. And further back, amongst the cargo that's all been in disarray, you see Seymour just bashing someone's face against the side of a train car, and you see blood and viscera. It just looks like this man has been long dead, but still, Seymour continues to just ram his head, his face, into the side of the car, and then finally lets the body drop to the ground, and you recognize by his clothes the bounty hunter you were speaking with earlier. And she says, please, you have to stop him. I don't know what's going on. He won't listen. But as she says that, and the body drops to the ground, Seymour turns and just looks at all of you, and he seems, you noticed this earlier, and you thought perhaps he was just a larger man, but something seems off about his frame. Like, his head is so much smaller for his body than it should be. And he turns in his suit, and you see he's just covered in blood. And he says, Joella, you brought people into this. You didn't need to bring people into this. What do you want?
You just stop killing everyone.
And which one of you is gonna stop me?
All of us will.
I sure as hell am.
Stand back!
What are you doing?
I'm holding the cross out.
Are you doing anything with it?
I'm
Are you casting
gonna
protection?
cast protection. Yes.
Okay.
Which is.
Oh, I was hoping you'd use it as like a throwing star.
Yeah! No, I'm casting protection. Like, I'm doing the power of Christ compels you thing. Which is a freebie.
Yes.
Alright.
So cast it.
Oh, ace on a 10. Double ace
Double
on a
ace
10.
on a
Oh,
10.
it's a 20 already.
Okay, so
When
I
you-
got a 25.
You got a
I got a
23.
23.
But all the same, you hold the cross up, and the light seems to swell a bit and illuminate the shadows of this place. How does that work again?
Protection?
Yes.
It it basically stops things from approaching me. Like, it can't move past me.
It has to make a save of some
Yes,
kind, right?
I think it gets a spirit save.
Spirit
I will
roll.
Look it up real quick.
Do a spirit roll.
Do a spirit roll. Protection. I've only used it once before.
Gets
spirits. No spirits.
Is that what I used?
Yes. Keep looking
Then I
for.
lost
Keep
it.
looking for the. Yeah. Keep looking for the ruins.
Right. Is it not?
It's under P.
LM.
P is for protection.
All right, I'll check Deadlands guy.
I'm gonna make it a spirit roll.
Okay.
That's a 1.
Wow.
So you
Oh,
hold.
boy, so
you,
whatever roll it is.
You hold that light up, and Seymour just starts to sort of lumber towards all of you. But as you stand in front of everyone, he just sort of stops. He says, "What is that? What are you
here.
doing?"
Stand back! You are not welcome here, whatever the hell you are now.
Oh, am I not? And he just reaches over and grabs a crate and just throws it at you. We are in a combat. So James Vogue.
I think if he wants to
Five
make an
clubs?
attack against me,
No.
he needs to do a spirit roll.
Wait, doesn't it just become a 10 now?
No. 9 of hearts.
Oh.
That becomes a 10.
You'll accept that, but that becomes a 10 of
Oh,
hearts.
I see how that works.
Hal Melton, a 3 of hearts.
Wah, wah.
Rosaline Byrne, a 5 of hearts.
Wah, wah.
Gabriel Pryor, a choker. Fate chip. Real fast. Fate chip.
Blue!
Oh, I got 2. Wait, no, I got 2.
Fate chip.
I got a white one! Damn it!
Fate chip.
Yay!
Cookie monster.
All right.
Yeah. Basically, it's if I present a crucifix, I get +2, so it was a 25.
Okay.
And he has to make an opposed spirit roll to make a direct attack against me.
Okay. He got a 2 of spades. So you would be up first, Gabriel, but you can go at any point. So really, it's going to be James Bogue. Joella screams out, "Don't hurt him! I know what this looks like, but he ain't himself."
I will take a shot. I will not move. I will marksman shot, and I will try to shoot his knee out.
How close is? We're all right.
I mean, you're standing in front of everyone else, and then he's back a little bit further away into the cargo car.
Okay,
There's just suitcases and luggage all over the place.
I was thinking about just doing first and just casting smite on the thing, but I think we've got it. Let's wait and figure out what's happening.
Okay, so you're gonna try and shoot his leg?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna be a called shot at a -2.
Wait, what happened to the crate he threw?
Well, we'll see. He's
Oh,
slower
okay.
than
I got
fast as lightning James Bogue. So this is a called shot as a -2, but you're not moving, so that is invalidated by your marksman.
No. Nice.
So that's just a straight 7, I think.
A 7?
Yeah, no, everything because -2.
That'll hit.
Oh, right. I
mark
marked.
weapon.
7 hits, roll damage, now with a raise.
Nice.
Ooh, that is snake eyes.
Oh no.
2 damage?
3.
3 damage. All right, so you whip your gun out and you just try and light it. You hear Joella screaming that, and you're conflicted about what to do here. You want to protect Gabriel from whatever is happening and everyone else. And clearly this man just murdered someone. But her cry is so plaintive, it shakes you a bit, and you aim for his leg, but you don't aim well enough to get a well-placed shot. So you graze him, and he staggers back. Ugh! But he doesn't appear to be much fazed by it. Hand in your card. Next up is Rosaline Byrne.
Wow.
Gabe,
Really?
you can go at any point.
Yep. I got a 3.
I guess I'll try to puppet him.
You're gonna try to puppet him.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good way to save him.
Such a good
and
catch-all.
everyone else. Yeah.
So I assume you're spending points, right?
6, yes.
Okay. 6?
Yeah.
You did it successfully. So he has to resist with spirit.
Yes, I do believe.
How spirited could he be?
You got a 7.
Well,
No!
guess he ate some spirits.
Can I re-roll mine?
Typically you would need to decide to do that before I roll, but I'll let you do it.
Oh, yay! I'll use a hero.
All right, Curse Banished Gold to re-roll.
I got 2 2s.
Do you want to re-roll it again? Okay.
There's a reason Jordan's allowed this.
It does always kind of worry you when he's.
Ace on the D10.
Used it.
He
17.
almost wants
17.
her to puppet.
So he got so your cards
No.
flare to life in your hand, and the single spectral ace flies out, streaking towards him, and sinks into his head. And you have puppeted him.
Wow. Okay. Man. Okay, so what's in this room that I can...
Suitcases, stacked boxes, crates. Past it, you can hear the horses are very active in the next car. But in here, it's just luggage and cargo.
Just luggage, no like ropes or anything in here?
I mean, there might be some ropes tying some cargo down, but they're already tightly tied. What do you want to do?
Well, I kind of want him to go over and like try and pull some ropes and then essentially start tying himself up.
Okay. All right. So you see his face go slack, but his body remains active. And his head starts to pull to the side, but his body is staying rooted in spot. And he just seems to be kind of almost like he's fighting something. And you can see in his face a sudden shift, and you hear him go, "Joel, I don't understand." But he's trying to move part of his body to go for the ropes, but the rest of his body is not complying. Hand in your card, Rosaline.
Can I also say something is very wrong?
Next up, Howell Melton.
Wrong, like I shouldn't hit him wrong, or like I should hit him.
Don't hit him! What are you doing? What's happening?
He just killed a bunch
Just
of
stop it!
people.
I know, but you can't. He doesn't know.
Joella, I need you to leave. Just get out of here.
All right, that's absolutely not going to happen in the chaos of this.
All
so
right.
what are you doing, Howell?
I'm gonna run at him and punch him with my not claw first. I'll do all my attacks.
Okay.
Do my.
Can I turn and just cast some? I want to go first and cast something on Howell.
Okay, yeah. So you use your Joker to interrupt Howell's turn. What do you want to do?
I want to turn and like hold my hand out and cast Godspeed.
Godspeed. Why don't you take a +4 to that roll?
Whoa!
Because a random player, Gabriel Pryor, gets a +4 on their next trait roll in combat.
Yes!
Thanks to the mystery box, which has been very kind.
Very
Yes,
kind.
it has.
How worrying.
So that's a +6 altogether with your Joker.
Holy cow.
Oh, yeah.
You see a 2.
Okay, I did it with a raise, so that
Probably
is-
several raises.
Yeah.
-2.
Yeah.
-2, yeah.
-2, but with the
It's a
plus
12.
other stuff, it's still easily erased.
Yep.
So now you get 2 turns per turn.
Great.
And you get to throw back any card lower than 8.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's even better. I've never had that.
So as you go running by, Gabe just reaches out and touches you and says a brief word, and you just feel yourself just surge forward. So you're running up to do what?
So I will do an unarmed attack and then a frenzy attack. So all my attacks, but my unarmed attack first. Is
Okay.
that okay?
Unarmed attack first?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
What are you doing, Mr. Melton? What is that thing? It looks like knives.
Well, don't worry.
But you're
about
already
it.
in the midst
They're
of
very
it.
soft.
You what? You were about to kill her brother.
Hal says
know
weird
that.
things when he's fighting.
She doesn't know that.
All right, so you're running up to
wait,
punch him.
Sorry, I was gonna roll my damage before
She'll
I actually
know
punched
soon.
the guy.
Punch him.
What'd you say?
I said she'll know soon.
Oh, that's not that great. It's only a 4.
A 4?
I think. Yeah, I don't have my strength to that, so yes.
Okay, so you run up with a 4, and as you do, he's still pulling with his head to the side, but his arm just comes up to shove your arm out of the way.
Alright, still something in there. Alright, so now I'll attack twice with my claw. Actually, that was a 2, because it was -2.
Ooh, okay.
So this is now my claw. This. So this is best of 2 of these.
I use
Ooh,
mine.
that's terrible.
Oh, yes.
That's terrible. I'm
That's
gonna
real
reroll.
bad.
That's real bad. I'm just gonna use a fate chip to reroll that.
Okay. Fate chip to reroll.
Sorry, no. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's also not that great. I got a bunch of these. Here you go.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
where do they go?
I don't know.
What happens to Chris Spanish Gold after we use them?
Well, that's a D12 ace.
Yeah!
And a 4, so I guess I'll hit on one of these at least. That's another D12.
Ooh.
I mean, this is just hit, so I'm gonna hit with the raise.
Okay,
So that's fine.
so you hit with the raise. So you're gonna do an extra d6 of damage here,
Oh,
Hal.
boy.
Now you're using your claw, right?
I am.
Which is now your relic claw.
Yeah.
You've had it for long enough, and whatever has happened to you has imbued it with some sort of extra power. Also, you find yourself, as you go punching out, you feel a lot more powerful than you used to feel.
Yep.
So you're gonna roll your new strength
Yeah.
result, which is a D12 plus 1. Because you
Yeah.
came back harrowed, but you came back tough.
I came back real muscly.
And you're gonna add 2d8 because your claw is now a personal relic. So that's a D12 plus 1 plus 2d8.
Plus D6 for a raise.
Plus D6 for a raise.
Here we go. It's a lot of damage.
Guy is so dead.
I'm sure I'll be fine. Oh, that's not
Wow.
that great. That's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
So that is. Oops, sorry. So 10. Oh yeah, 13 plus 1, 14.
14. Okay, so you come running up with your fist cocked back, and you try and hit him in the head, but he brings up an arm to block it. And just continuing your momentum, you come slashing out with your claws. You hear Joella scream, "No!" And as you do, you just slash him right across the midsection and hit him hard. And he goes stumbling back, and you hear him scream, which is probably going to give him a chance to break that control.
All right.
But he doesn't. But you also hear another sound. You hear like a whispering, like just exhalation of breath. It sounds dusty and dry and alien. And as you do that, you hear him stagger back and you see him just kind of thrash his head, but his body seems to be moving separately. And he is shaken. But as you watch, his form seems to bulk up a bit. Not his head. His head stays the same size. But you see the exposed skin on his neck just starts to slit down beneath his clothes. And all of a sudden, whatever it is beneath his clothes starts to slither out of his pants. And you see a disembodied mound of what looks like flapping human flesh just crawl out from underneath him. And as that happens, he just starts screaming, and it just starts to flap around on the ground. Can I get a guts roll at a -6 from each of you?
Oh boy.
All right, I got a 6.
A 6?
Oh, you good, baby.
I mean, I rolled an ace. So
Okay.
I got an 8 with the -6, but the.
This is effectively a
+5.
-1.
Yep, so I'm good.
7.
7?
9.
9?
I got a 4.
4.
It's a -0.
It's
Me too.
no, it should be a, oh, right, yeah, you have
Wait.
equal grit now.
Okay.
All right, so you all just kind of cower back from this thing, but it just sort of flaps on the ground, and then it starts to just slide and slither up to the wall and slide up it. Hand in your card, Howell.
He gets another turn.
That's true. You do get another turn.
Okay.
You just took one turn,
I
right?
did, yes.
Yeah.
It left his body.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So I'm gonna attack. Can I reach
Yeah. As
that
it
thing?
starts
Oh,
to
great.
slide away, you can make your other attack.
Okay.
Take your other turn.
Great. Here I go. I'll do my frenzy attack first with my claws. Ew. That is a 10 for one of them. The other two miss.
A 10 will hit. Wait, what were the other two rolls?
A 4 and a 1.
The 4 will hit as well.
Oh, okay. Great.
This
Bring
thing
a
is
low
this
parry.
thing is not as strong when it's not attached to its host.
Oh, I see. Do either of those hit with a raise?
The 10 does.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. So I will do...
Casual Joker. Hey, it's a
Oh,
raid.
Hey, casual joker!
It's a raid. Shields up, everybody.
So as this slithering mass of flesh starts to crawl up the wall, you just use this surge of power from Gabriel and just run over and blindly attack it.
This will be my raised one first. So that is 15 plus 1, 16.
15, 16. Okay, so as it starts to just slither up the wall, you run over with your clawed hand and just start slashing wildly at it. And as you do, this surge of speed, this supernatural power that you feel welling up inside of yourself, and this complete disregard for the physical well-being of your own body that makes you feel detached from yourself. You're just viciously slashing this thing, and you keep slashing it as deep red gashes open and it bleeds this dry, sticky blood as you slash it to ribbons, and it's, again, that whispering cry issues from it, and it starts to slide down the wall as you continue to slash until it is nothing but a ribboned pile of inanimate flesh on the ground. And in your cards.
Howell.
I think
Oh my god! Oh my god, what was that?
I don't know.
What was that? Joella is just beside, she is just wrapped up in the corner, completely retreating into herself. Meanwhile, Seymour is still screaming and still holding back, but you have control of him. And as he's screaming, he's walking over to the ropes and he's grabbing them and he's just kind of like wrapping his arm up in one of the
I'm gonna
ropes.
Stop getting him to do that. I'm just gonna try to get him to breathe. Deep breath. And he's gonna sit down.
He does. And you feel your control start to fade. But still, he's just sitting there in the corner of the train car. And the only sound is the whinnying of the horses from the next car and Joella's just frightened sobs in the corner as Seymour just sits there in complete shock.
All right. Everyone calm down. Take some deep breaths. Look. What happened? How did that thing get inside you?
It wasn't inside me, it was on me. But then I was just pushed out. I was just along for the ride. They invited me to eat with them.
Who invited you?
Red robes, they said we should break bread over the meal. And as we did, I heard this sound above me, and I looked up and it fell and it wrapped itself around me, and then it was me. Oh my god. Oh my god, I killed all those people. And Joella is just sobbing over in the corner. No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you, Seymour. What do we do? What do we do?
I don't know, but it wasn't you.
What are we gonna do?
We gotta
And
tell.
at this point, the discharge of a gun and the noise of all of this struggle has brought running some of the employees of the train. And they burst through the door, having run through this corridor of all of these horrifically killed passengers, and find this man sitting on the ground next to the smashed-in corpse of the bounty hunter that you were talking to, next to this bloody, pulped mess of flesh, and see you with your gun trained on this man and the rest of you just kind of standing around him, your cross having, unbeknownst to you, faded into darkness while this was happening. Oh my god, what happened here?
Some got on the train and did this.
It's dealt with now.
It's over there. It's that pile.
They look at each other and they walk over to it, and one of them just kind of like prods it with his boot, and it just makes this sick wet sound as it sloshes over to the side. This ain't nothing but skin. What happened here?
I don't know what happened, but we fought that thing. And killed it.
And Seymour is just like beside himself, and Joella's going, no, he didn't do it. And they look at those two, and they look at you, and they say, all right, we need all of you to stay tight right here. All of you, nobody leaves this. Nobody says word one of this. We're gonna talk to the conductor. We're gonna get this sorted out. You stay here and watch them. If any of you move, he has a shotgun, and we are well within our rights to open fire. Do not move.
We're not going
All right.
anywhere.
Fred is gone.
And he runs back, and the other one who remains here is just kind of has the gun sort of trained. He doesn't know who to train it on. You've got your gun out. You have not taken a life, James Boak, so you cannot holster life drinker.
No.
You have gore and viscera hanging off of this clawed blade that you're wearing, and you both, you have a knife out, you're holding a cross, they're in tears. This is a nightmarish scene. And he is just shaking as he holds the gun on all of you. But eventually, the conductor comes back. Now, what is the story that you were weaving here?
That it wasn't something that got on the train.
Now, what's the story you're weaving that you expect anyone to believe here?
Would we just say it was like some sort of animal got in and it broke out that window?
There is a sack of flesh here, but I think that's what we've got to go with. We're not entirely sure what it was, but some sort of wild beast. It came through and it tore through the cabin.
Now, human psychology is interesting when faced with overwhelmingly strange events like this. There's this desire to desperately cling to some sort of rational, understandable explanation. Tuberculotic, thank you very much for the tip. And also, we're so sorry to hear about your consumption. Might we recommend moving to a drier climate? There's so many things that don't make sense in your story.
Yeah.
But they want so desperately to believe that that's the case. And so after a thorough round of questions that don't really make sense, that no one can appropriately answer, the conductor makes the decision to continue on with the train, to inform the rest of the passengers that there has been some sort of animal attack while the train was still, and that there are passengers that have been killed in the back of the train, but that the matter has been taken care of, and that the back half of the train is off limits until everyone arrives in Prescott, in which case everyone will disembark. They'll be given their luggage, they can go on their way while the authorities conduct an investigation. And so you continue on into the storming night on a threadbare Lone Star train, heading on to the city of Prescott, Arizona, where Jebediah Nightlinger's carnival is waiting. And that's where we will end tonight. Thank you guys very much.
Just out the window, I just find a bird. And I just
Doesn't work like that, James Bogue. Thank you all very much for hanging out with us this evening. Thank you for your generous tips and your subs and just your presence. It means the world to us that you are here to watch and be a part of this with us. Thank you to you guys for all of the things that you do each and every Friday night here. Big thank you to Rick Bear for running everything behind the scenes. You're a champ. Thank you very much, Rick. And we will see you next Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific time here on Saving Throw for the continuing adventures of the posse through the Weird West. But before that, don't forget, on Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific time here, we have a new episode of Tempting Fate. What world are they going to be playing in this time, Don?
Carrier Penguins.
Carrier Penguins.
Part 2.
Oh.
The penguin.
Part 2 of the
That's
Carrier
when they
Penguin.
all play as carrier penguins.
But wait, guys, hold on. My screen is telling me we should raise our bottles.
Oh.
We have a very last-minute toast from Tuberculotic. It's nothing but a perfectly normal train. Just your standard demonic mass murderer train. It's nothing but a perfectly normal train. Just your standard demonic mass murderer train. Set them up and knock them down. Thank you very much,
Honestly,
Tuberculotic.
this is like pretty low key for most of our train experience.
Best train I've ever had.
The train hasn't exploded yet, so that's pretty good.
So 5 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday, the Tempting Fate crew will be playing the sequel to their Carrier Penguin game in the Lasers and Feelings game. And I imagine this is going to be another custom hack by GM Rick Budd, so tune in for that. We have all kinds of goodness coming for you guys in the upcoming weeks. But we hope that not being dazzled too much by all of the various and sundry wondrous shows that Saving Throw offers, you'll find it in your schedule and in your state of mind to make your way back here next Friday at 8 p.m. for the continuing adventures of the Wildcards posse. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you to you guys. We'll see you next time, but we'll leave you with some finger guns.